Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to a New Year's Eve live stream. I just lost my voice. Sorry about that. Today we are making a game called Avast. Avast, me hearties. It's a pirate game. Haha. I don't actually know where I was going with that, but today we're making a pirate game in Game Maker, as you would do in such a piece of software. I found an asset pack by the lovely, I'm assuming gentleman, possibly gentlewoman, but Kenny, the Kenny Assets pack of pirate graphics, ships and pirates and all ocean-like, I just opened the same file up, ocean-like things, and I saw this, I was like, hey, this looks like it could be fun to make, so let's remake this as a game. I'm thinking some kind of ocean scene, just like this screenshot here, but you drag the ships around with your mouse, like you draw like a path, and the ship will follow the path that you've drawn with the mouse, and then, you know, you see like pirates, and so you click on them, or if you're on a like tablet, you tap on them. I want the game to be completely completely focused around touch interface. So you'll drag them around, tap, tap, tap. They'll queue up their cannonballs and fire. If you get too close to the land masses, then the cannons on the land will fire at you. Maybe we'll do some sort of like factions, red versus blue, you know, that sort of thing. Honestly, I don't know. I think we're just going to wing it and see if it turns out to be a decently playable and fun game. So before we get started, I want to say thank you for everyone joining. I am recording the stream today. Yes, am I? Yes, I am. I am recording the stream. Separately, if YouTube wants to copyright this one, then it is going to go up on some other platform because now I have a source recording. Anyway, before we get started, just wanted to throw up a quick message to say if you're watching this in the future, please go ahead and jump on Patreon, throw $1 in the hat, and we can keep these streams going as often and as frequent as possible. With all of that said, we're going to get started now. So, Pirates game, Avast or doubloons. We're going to need to set up a folder on my PC for graphics storage. Graphics storage. Where are we going to put this? We'll put this in my RM2K dev folder. I'm going to create a new folder called live streams. In that live stream, I'm going to create Avast. I don't know how you spell doubloons. D-O-U-B-L-O-N-S. There we go. And let's create a folder inside of that called graphics. Graphics. And we'll pull in all of these graphics. And we'll just unpack those out of the zip file that they were contained in. Anyway, let's have a look what we've got. So if we go into PNGs, default sizes, we have a bunch of effects. We've got some fire, some explosions. We have some ship parts. Now, I was thinking maybe we could make this like, excuse me, maybe we could make this a customize your own ship kind of thing. But I think we'll get started with the simpler, ready to go kind of, you know, ships already existing pack that we've got here. Now, the player's ship, I think, will probably just be this. Actually, no, we'll probably make the player's ship this blue one, and we'll do the, like I was saying, the teams sort of thing. We'll have the blue ships versus the yellow ships versus the greens versus the reds and the blacks, and maybe we'll put a little chart on the screen to show the what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? I forget the word I'm looking for. The ratio of territory control by ship color. And then we have tiles. Now, in the tiles, we have just a bunch of, you know, tiles, as you would expect. And I'm wondering, do we have any... See, these cannons need to be placed onto the ships. So the ships currently don't have any cannons on them. So that means that the preview... I'm just trying to think how this would work. So the preview, we may need to add the sample. Here we go. Oh, no, the samples don't have any cannons on them. That's fine. We'll just put the cannons on the side. Oh, by the way, today we are listening to the best of no copyright sounds. So hopefully we don't get done for copyright. Copyright. Hi, Armin. How are you doing today? All right, so getting started, then let's go ahead and bring in some of these PNG files. Default sizes, ships we are going to take in the blue one. We'll bring this one here in. And I'm going to keep this really clean. This one is going to be way cleaner than our last game, because if this does turn out to be something fun, I will package it up and throw it up online for download. So let's call this player. Actually, let's not call this player. Let's just call this ships. There we go. And we'll drag this. Why can't I drag? Seriously? What's going on with my dragging? I seriously can't select any. Oh my god, Windows Explorer just crashed. Ha. Ha ha ha. Ha. Timing. That is weird. Windows Explorer never crashes. I mean, you know, in Windows 10. Did the music just die? Oh no, there we go. Music's back. Alright, let me kill Explorer. That's a great start to the stream, guys. Sorry about that. Details. Explorer. Alright, yeah, I know. How weird is that? Like, oh shit, now my taskbar's gone. Alright then. Okay, now I can't right click on my desktop. What the hell? And the music died again. Oh, the music's still playing. Alright, there we go. Explorer's back. I had to use a shortcut. Let's just try and spool up a new task, since Windows isn't going to do it for us. There we go. Explorer is now back. Then we can go ahead and pop open our folder. Head back to my... I'm going to do this over here so you guys don't get to see what's in my drive with all of my legitimately downloaded television shows. Sarcasm. Ha ha ha. Then we'll go to projects, live streams. Okay, we're back. And then graphics. Graphics! And we're in the default size. I don't know what GLHF means, Andrew. And YouTube blocked it for spam, I think. I don't know what it means. Back to ships. And then we'll pull the ships in. Seriously! It died again. Oh my god. Okay, I think we may be having some technical difficulties. Oh, good luck, have fun. Thank you, Andrew. Alright then, I will seriously, okay guys, I think I'm gonna have to potentially spend a moment troubleshooting this shit. Let me just figure what the hell's going on here, okay? I'm going to kill Game Maker because it's just it just died. It just died my PC. That's great English. Let's kill Explorer again because Explorer died my PC too. Start a new Explorer task. There we go. Explorer is now back. Then let's start Game Maker again. And we will... Let's download the update because maybe that's the problem. Maybe that is the problem. Sorry guys, I didn't actually mean to start a stream today and update Game Maker, but as you can tell, we are having some technical problems. Technical difficulties. Sorry. Alright, install. Let me update Game Maker. I'm sorry guys. Okay, uninstall. 3 hours. Nah, man. Updates don't take that long. We're on fiber, so it's not too bad. I don't know why it's installing to the beta folder, but whatever. I'll let it go. Thank you. THXU. Alright, I'm really sorry about this, guys. I didn't mean, like... I didn't know Game Maker and Windows were gonna, like, die this morning. We'll, hopefully get this back up and running, and we'll get started ASAP. Alright, now it's installing. It's updating itself. This, soundtrack's actually not that bad today. I'm quite surprised. Fancy fiber. Why didn't I update it as the first thing? Because I didn't want to update it. I just never update it. I leave it at whatever it's at, and it usually works fine. We've been streaming for the last 2 days with the version that was currently installed, and it had no problem. So I didn't think it was going to be an issue today, but apparently it is. All right, so we're back. open up our game. Let's bring up our folder. I'm going to move this over here temporarily. And I'm going to go into my projects, going into my live streams. There it is. Graphics. Now, seriously, if this kills the stream, if this kills the game, I'm going to have to think of something else because... Alright, we're back. Is this going to work? If this doesn't work, guys, I will, like, shut down the stream. I'll reboot the computer. 2 days ago, was that my first stream? No, I used to stream on Twitch, but it was full of, like, Nazis, so I stopped. Alright, cool. So it's working now. We can go ahead and drag in these assets. Put this under ships. Let's call this SPR ship underscore blue. Alright, we're getting started now because it seems to be working. So we have SPR ship blue. We are going to middle center that. Alright, there we go. That's good. Let's close that off. Let's bring in another one. SPR ship yellow. Bring in these graphics. SPR underscore ship underscore yellow. By the way, what I meant by my statement there that Twitch was full of Nazis was basically that every time I Twitch streamed, define Nazis RE Twitch, was that basically every time I Twitch streamed, a bunch of people would come in and put up like offensive symbols of the Nazi variant and write a lot of hate messages and just piss everyone off, including myself. And then occasionally DDoS my internet connection because they saw Skype was open, and they were just generally not interested in watching game development, I don't think. Red. Yeah, I don't know why. It was just like what happened. Every now and then, like we had some good streams over there, but there was too much what I'm looking for. Yeah, fun times. Too much politics. You know, everyone wants to be a mod, and you make someone a mod, and then they're like, oh, you made him a mod, but you didn't make me a mod. You know, and it's just like, come on. Like, does it matter? It doesn't matter, but you need to have them over there because otherwise people take the piss and they start to like DDoS your connection or attack your viewers, and it just wasn't really very fun. So I stopped. Exactly, yeah. I have no idea how they ended up in a game development channel. Alright, so I've just loaded in some sprites. Killer Beast. Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you very much for that. I wouldn't really say that I'm very good at programming, but I'm okay. I do it, you know, it's my job, so I program 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, for a company, ship underscore gray. That's pretty fun. I enjoy doing that. And what else? I did start when I was quite young, so I started programming when I was 10 years old. I didn't obviously know what I was doing back then. I was just trying to make games. And it kind of just went from there. I'm going to call this player ship. Thank you, guys. I'm just going to make the player... Alright, poll for the viewers. What color should we make the player's ship? Until you get back to me, I'm making it green. So let me know what you're thinking, and we'll go ahead and make it green. We're going to rename this room RM underscore world. The world of ships. Blue. Alright, so red. Oh, maybe this was a bad idea. Dark red. Green. Oh, great. Alright. That was a bad idea. Everyone is going to have a different opinion. I can't tell you guys what company. Sorry. It is a kind of private affair. Blue. Alright, we have 2 people asking for blue. So I'm going to go ahead and make it blue. Also, blue is one of my favorite colors. So we are now blue. Alright, we have a room. I'm going to go ahead and set the color of said room to be a nice blue. Not one of those bad blues. Just a nice blue. And I'm just going to desaturate it a little bit. And shift it more towards, you know, like ocean color. Oh, not that. That's like hurt your eyes kind of blue. There we go. What about the color Zandu? If it's going to be against a water backdrop, blue might contrast enough. Yeah, it might. we'll see. You're probably right. We'll make it red. We'll make it... Actually, no, we'll make it green. I think green is a complementary color for blue. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but I think it's something like that. All right, now we've got some ships. Let's go ahead and pull in some tiles. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and create a folder. Let's organize this. Let's create a folder called FX, and we'll go ahead and pull in our effects. We have explosions, Greenworks. Pull in explosion 1, explosion 2, and then explosion 3, and we'll middle center that, and just give it a quick play. Oh, that's interesting. You know what I don't like about the new Game Maker? Every time you import assets, it rescales them to the size of whatever the thing that you did was. So you have to load in the biggest one first, then the middle one. No, see, that doesn't work either. If the frame size changes, I wonder if there's a setting for that. Exactly how will the game work? Honestly, I don't know. I'm still learning how to code, and your channel's helping understand. Awesome, man. I hope you get quite far in your journeys. Try big to small. All right, let's go big to small. Big to small. Oh, that didn't work. See, it just loads them in at the wrong size. Does anyone know if there's a setting to turn that off? That's really weird. All right, let's delete this. Let's try to do it a little bit differently. Let's try to drag the 3 sprites in one by one. Take the biggest canvas size, which is that one. Explosion 1, 2, and then 3. And then if we copy the frame from this one and paste it in here, see, it resized it again. That's not good at all. Top Ice 1, Level Max Jelly 2, Master Pro XXL. Welcome back. Good to see you again today. Might need to import versus drag them in. Yeah, let's try that. Let's create a sprite, and then let's just go import. And let's take it to this folder. And let's try import them. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Let's import just the big one. Import just the middle one. Now, see, now I can't do that. Game Maker will always scale images. Yeah, but that's dumb. Like, how do we turn that crap off? Is there a setting? Preferences. Is there a setting for this? And again, guys, sorry for heading down a rabbit hole of just random stuff, but we gotta fix this. Otherwise, we can't move on. It will just be too hard. We must solve the problem before we can move forward in our game development. I don't know why I'm doing that. Must have slept well today. Copy pixels and paste into a new sprite. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We won't do that. We will do something similar to that. But what we'll do is we'll just open this in Photoshop. Not Photos. You stupid computer. Photoshop. There we go. It's not a setting. Dumb. I know. 20 people out of our 51K. It's kind of funny. What if you clicked out of grid settings? Not sure, to be honest. But what I'll do is I'll just pop that in here. I'll copy this. Open up calculator. I will just go to image adjust size 74 multiplied by 3 to 22. Paste that into width. Then I will just drag this frame onto here. Get rid of this frame. I'm just going to create a sprite sheet out of it, to be honest. Because it is too much of a... shit. And then the offsets are going to be wrong. Why didn't it do it with the ships? It didn't do it with the ships because the ships are all the same frame size. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll create a new sprite. Actually, no, we won't. We will open this in a new window. Oh, come on, Photoshop. Let's open that. Let's copy. Control paste. Let's create a new 74 by 75 image. Create a new one. There we go. Create another new one. There we go. And then let's take... That's still not going to work. Alright. Who would have thought that doing this would just be so hard? I think you're getting our messages slow. It might be... The stream health for some reason has gone to orange. Hi, Chris. Let me Google this. Game Maker stop auto scale sprites. Maybe there is a setting for it somewhere. Nope, there's no setting for it. Make 3 images the same size as the biggest one and paste the 2 smaller ones into the bigger canvas. Yeah, that's what I was going to do, but it... Alright, let's try it again. Photoshop. Alright, 3 images the same size as the biggest one. Oh, I see what you mean. Right, I got you now. I got you now. Right. 3 images, same size as the biggest one. This is freaking stupid. Paste that into there. Paste that into there. And then paste that one into there. And then turn off their backgrounds. Like this. Why has the second one disappeared? There we go. Turn off the background. And then we don't need the first one. All we need to do is save this one. So we'll just go File, Save As. And then we're going to put it into this file. This folder. And we're going to call it explosion2.png. We're just going to resize it. There we go. There we go. And then just go File, Save As. Pung. File, Explosion3. Okay, well that was a royal pain in the ass. Now that that's done, we should be able to do what we were trying to do, which was to load in an explosion. Small image first. Second image and third image. Jesus Christ, Game Maker. That could have been a little easier. Okay. Thank you for the tip, guys. Someone asked earlier if I can continue the top-down shooter in Game Maker Studio 1.5. I can't because I don't use it anymore. I think there is... I think I've done that before as well. There might already be one. Just have a look on my channel. I think there is one. SBR FX Explosion. There we go. Now we have an explosion. An animated explosion. Wonderful. Import the biggest and then add 2 blank frames. Alright, let's try that as well because we've got to do the fire one. So let's just say SPR FX fire. And we will bring in the fire sprite. Nope. Nope, we won't do that. We'll delete this. And we'll bring in the biggest frame. Then we'll create a new frame. Shit. Oh god, why can't I drag from my Explorer again? Oh, there we go. Do you wish to replace all frames with the dropped-in image file? No. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try up here. That didn't work either. Can we copy... If I copy-paste it, though, it won't come with transparency. So if I go copy and paste, and, of course, copy-paste doesn't work, puts it as a brush. And that means I don't know where the offset is. Yeah, see, that doesn't work. There's only 2 videos, yeah. It's like, if you can explain the mechanics in 2 videos, why would you have more? Top-down shooters are just, like, movement and... what's the word I'm looking for? Movement and... shooting. That's top-down shooter. So let's copy this, create a new image... that frame size, and then we'll paste into Fire 2. This is going to be a pain in the ass. I know it is. I feel it. But now our vertical offset is wrong, so we need to drag it down. Where does this one start? This one starts like 2 pixels off the bottom. My character doesn't appear when using Game Maker Studio 2. Then I think we need to create a top-down shooter tutorial with Game Maker Studio 2. That might be the solution. Which I think we'll do in the future. I did do one recently, but it was using the RM2 framework asset that I put on the marketplace. It is a top-down 2D shooter, though, so... You know... It will get the job done. But it's Yeah. Probably not what you're looking for. Now, is this an animation? Yeah, somewhat. I think what we'll do is we'll copy paste that, put that one at the end, and then we'll flip this frame. Mirror selected frame. There we go. And then we'll copy that one, paste that one there, put that one there, and then we'll mirror this frame. Or just, yeah, mirror selected frame. So now, that's better, I suppose. Alright, and we will middle center those as well. Cool. Alright, so now we have some fires. Jesus, that was a pain. SPR underscore FX underscore fire. So we got some fire, we got some ships. Let's create, excuse me, let's create a group called player. Put the player ship into the player group. Now we're going to need to bring in a tile set so that we can begin epilepsy one. Yeah, sorry guys. Let's bring in a tile sheet, specifically this one. This is going to be called, we'll create a group for this as well. Let's create a group called tiles, and let's put the tile sheet into the group, and we'll call this one here TS underscore tile. Actually, we'll call this SPR underscore tiles. Now, there are a bunch of things and stuff. We'll get into that later. So we'll go into the room and we'll create a tile layer below our instances called ground. So we will rename this called tiles underscore ground. There we go. And we'll select our tile set. No tile set up because we need to create a tile set resource. So let's create a tile set resource and we will give it the appropriate sprite, which was the tiles sprite. Now, I don't know what size these are for. I'm guessing they're 48 by 48 because a lot of Kenny's assets are. But no, that's not correct. They might be 64 by 64. Yeah, there we go. They're 64 by 64 tiles. Okay, so now that we have that, and we have this is all correct, I think. All right, so now we have a tile set. We'll call this TS underscore tiles. Sorry guys, do you think it's time to think about how the game will work? I've kind of got an idea of how the game will work. I was explaining it earlier. I guess a lot more people have sort of come in now, so I'll just quickly go over what I'm thinking for how the game will work. So I saw this screenshot here with these Kenny assets, and I was like, hey, this could be a really kind of fun and cool game. So basically what I'm thinking is you control one ship and you drag along, you click on it and drag, and that's the path that the ship will follow. Now as you drag around, that's your movement system obviously. So as you move around the world, your ship will sail in that direction. You'll encounter other enemies' ships, and so you'll click on them. Or if you're playing on a mobile or a tablet or something like that, you tap on them, and that will create, it'll instigate a firing system where the ship needs to be a certain distance away from the ship that you clicked on to fire at, and also lined up, you know, sort of parallel to them. Cannonballs will then fly out and attack the ship, and it'll kind of be like a turf war, kind of thing, because there'll be a bunch of factions, and we'll have like a little grid on the top to show who owns the most turf. And so you'll be able to move your ships, and they'll be able to move their ships, and that's what I'm thinking anyway. You can also drag around on the screen just by clicking and dragging, but I think I'm not 100%. We're kind of just going to feel this game out as we go and see what's fun. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and select our tile set. We can begin to, actually I will pull up that sample again because I'll use that as a reference. You should add an upgrade feature. Yeah, we could add an upgrade feature. It's probably a little bit complicated to do that. So what we need to do is, now the one thing I'm not sure of is how the hell, oh, these are all just inner grass, right? So let's create some inner grass like this, right? And then we can, does Game Maker have a random brush? Auto tiles, flip, rotate, line. They don't have a random brush like Unity. Okay, that's fine. Oh no, they do have a random brush. No, they don't have a random brush. Auto tiles animation. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll just swap a lot of these out for just general kind of grass. We're going to create some land masses like this. Now our room is obviously not big enough, so that's fine. We can change the size of the room. No worries, Killer Beast. King Frederick, hi, how you doing? Good to see you again. You think of all this yourself? Seems like a lot of pre-planning. Nope, I saw the graphics this morning and I was just like, that seems like fun. That's all there was. Now, we know that the sprites are 64 by 64, so I'm going to go back to calculator, and I want the world to be 100 by 100, so... Okay, I guess we didn't need to use calculator for that. So we're just going to set the room size to be 6400 by 6400. Then we can zoom out and see the entire thing. That's better. Now let's just create... Alright, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to create some landmass down here like this. I'm not going to bother with making this all procedurally generated and all that kind of fun stuff. It's a very simple kind of game, I think. We'll just create some islands. I'm not even going to bother like filling them all in either, because that's just going to take way too much time. So let's do that. Why not use Unity or Godot? I don't like Godot at all. I think it's crap. And Unity, I like Unity, but Unity's for doing simpler... I wouldn't say Game Maker superior, but for doing simple stuff like this, Game Maker is quick. It's very fast. You can just get started and off you go. You know, you're just done. That easy. So let's create another layer. Actually, no, I don't want to do that yet. I want to kind of... This is where it gets... This is probably the most boring part of doing this sort of shit by hand, but let's just put this like that. Let's put this like that. Anywhere that goes. Put this here. Put that there. Do my corners up quickly. Corner. Corner. Now, how the hell do we do this corner? Do we have the graphics for that? Yeah, we do. We have inner corner graphics, so that's good. Do that one. Put a corner. Put a corner. Then we need to do one of these. And one of those. Every program... Yeah, everything has its ups and downs. Like I was saying the other day, I think it might have even been yesterday or the day before, but Game Maker is very quick at just doing stuff like this. It's not necessarily fantastic for a large game. As you get larger, the game kind of gets more complicated, which can sometimes make the thing you're trying to do a little bit harder. You know, it makes it a little bit harder to finish. You know, makes it harder to maintain in the long run. But it just depends, I guess, on what you're actually doing. Now, I need to figure out how the hell these sprites work, because I wasn't really paying attention to that before. They don't come out one all the way. Oh, do they come out one all the way? Oh, I see what we got to do. Alright, we need to create another layer under this layer. I'm going to duplicate, and I'm not going to duplicate, I'm going to create another tile layer. We're going to call this, rename, we're going to call this tiles underscore shore. There we go, and we'll use the same tile set. Yeah, the programming is infuriating. I'll 100% agree with that. It needs to be updated big time. GML is like useless most of the time. So this is our shore graphics. I'm not going to spend too much time doing graphics, by the way. I just want to put together a very simple, quick map. Something like that, and that, and then we just got to do this kind of thing here, and then we can just do that one and that one there. There we go. Graphics for Island 1 done. That's our shore. And now we do have to do a couple more of these, so we'll take our instance. We'll drag our instance down into the water over here. Alright, I hope you guys will stick with me while I do the rest of these. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and put down some more ground assets. We're just going to do that. And I'm pretty sure Game Maker has auto tiles now, which should probably make this a hell of a lot easier. But again, it's just one of those things that we're just trying to do a simple, really quick, throw it together kind of game. There we go. And then we need to put this one, this one, this one. Oops. That needs to be that one there, and then that one and that one. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing one more time. Let's do all of our corners like that. I am never going to touch these islands ever again. Let's throw this down here like so. And then we'll do this one. And then we'll do that one. And then we'll do that one. And then we can just go ahead and do these inner corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And another one. How many more of these do we have to do? We have 2 more of these to go. Alright, it doesn't take that long. Once you go full Python, you never go back. I agree with that. It's kind of funny. You see programmers who start coding in Python and then literally they're just never coding anything else ever again. I don't think that's a testament to how good the language is. I think they just get stuck in like a loop of Python. The Python loop. It is a good language though. I've played with Google's AI toolkits in Python. It's quite fun. TensorFlow and some other stuff. Okay, and we're almost done here. 1, 2, there we go. That's that one done. And then we'll do this one. This is the most, I wouldn't say it's the most boring part, but this is definitely game development in a nutshell. If you're aspiring to be a game developer, you can get used to doing this sort of crap a lot. Because all the coding is like a very small portion of what actually gets done. Most of it is playtesting and TensorFlow is literally amazing. It's crazy how amazing it is. I found it to be extremely amazing. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's good. It's for doing artificial intelligence and creating stuff like that. A lot of the code base and things you can do with it are really powerful. You can create neural networks and you can do all sorts of stuff. I launched a Godot one. Godot is like, if you've ever used 3D modeling software, all right, let's go back a couple of years, right? Step back in time, go back to when 3D modeling software was very expensive, you know, and not easy to get your hands on. Godot is like that. It's like before 3D modeling software became affordable, people would use alternatives. And those alternatives were kind of, they get the job done, but they're mostly shit. That's my opinion of Godot. I just don't like it at all. It feels like poor man's Unity. For lack of a better word. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just I don't like it. I feel like it has this odd interface. It's kind of clunky. Everything feels open source. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but you can tell when stuff is open source because it feels open source. When something feels open source, you know there's a problem. I'm just rambling anyway. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, Killer Beast. He's a killer beast. Killing things with his beast. Alright, okay. Oh, shit. I'm just going to finish up some of these edges. I don't even know how we're going to program this game. I'm just guessing. We're going to figure it out as we go along, guys and girls. Okay, that's that. And now we need to do the edges. Remember, kids, killing is bad. Yeah, killing's bad. Alright. And finally, some more edges to kind of complete the world. Okie dokie. And we'll just go ahead and place these down here like so. And we'll do a little bit more of that. Then a little bit more of that. Then a little bit more of this. Then we can go ahead and put these on. Getting faster at it now, though. Edge. Edge. Edge, edge, edge. Yes, this is a tedious process. I'm feeling very teeted. That's not a word. Yes, this is a highly tedious process. There is such a thing as auto tiles in Game Maker, but like that is a tedious process. This is called simple in comparison. I can show you auto tiles if you want, but it's not pretty. Yeah, it's not pretty at all. What is going on with these inner edges? Why have they got this like... Shit, you know what I did? I put them... Ah, crap. That's not what I meant to do. Ah! Why would I do that? There's something weird going on with that. I put the water tile there. That's why. Alright, I will fix that. Crap. Alright, let me fix up my mistake. And then back to ground layer. Back to grass. Back to grass. Then I think that one went there and there. And it doesn't matter. We'll just put this one here, this one here. That'll do. Worst 10 minutes of my life. Yeah, I know. Oh, God. Tell me about it. Alright, back to shore layer. Now, have we fucked up the shore? No, we haven't. Good. We did mess up this one here. I put the water sprite instead. I got one more to go, guys. Hold tight. We'll be done soon. Sorry, I mean I got one more to go after this. So this one's almost done. Then we can get started on something. I don't know what. Something. We can have a look at auto tiles, because maybe after we've done all of this, we might regret doing this. And then, just, yeah, that'll be fun. How's everyone going today? How's your New Year's and Christmas been? We've been streaming for a few days now. Thought I'd see how you're all doing. One more! One more! Thank you for following me on Twitter, Killer Beasts. Much appreciated. I'm going to have a look at auto tiles after we've done this, because I just want to see if I wasted a bunch of time. Or if we were right in doing this. We'll have a quick play. We might as well. We have no time constraints here. We do what we want. Okay. This one. Then that one. Then that one. Then this one becomes... Oh, shit. That one goes there. And then that one goes there. And then... This one goes here. And then this one... goes here, and then one more, and we are done. Freaking save the project before it crashes. Knowing Game Maker auto tiles probably takes even more. Yeah, I know, that's what I mean. The island to your left, wrong water tile. Ah, yes. Thank you for pointing that out. Thankfully, we can flood fill that. Alright, let's have a look. Is there any other issues, or are these looking good? These are looking great. Now we can turn the shores off and on to make sure that it's all on the right layer, and the ground on and off. Let's just fix that issue there. Okay, and the ground comes back on. Wonderful! Did I make the tile set myself? No, this is Kenny assets. These are wonderful. Does your character disappear last time when you program? No, my characters never disappear. They have a tendency for not disappearing. That doesn't mean anything, what I just said. These are Kenny assets, yeah. Kenny is a wonderful person creating wicked assets. This game is going to be 1280 by 720 in size and height. It is going to be following our player object, which we'll change in a sec. Make the shores either make the ship slower or do damage. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Killer Beast, you need to double check on your What's the word I'm looking for? You need to double check on your depth. Depth is the one. Hey, look at that. My player is disappearing. Right after I said they had a tendency to not disappear. That's because this needs to be 1280, 720. There we go. That way the borders, I think, will be correct. There we go. And our ship is going through its stages of destruction, which is fine. Don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we have tile set. Let's create a group for that. Let's call a group. Let's call this game tiles. All right, now let's have a quick play with auto tiles. I know I said that they're complicated, and they are, but, I mean, we might as well. Auto tiling. We have 16 edge tile set, and what we do is we come in here and we start defining what everything is. So if we come here and we say, this is the center. This one here, what is this? This must be this one, that one, then the bottom edge, then the inner top edge, then the side edge. Now that sprite, we don't have anything for that. We don't have a sprite to define that, so we'll skip. And then we'll go with that. Then we'll go with shit. See what I mean? They get really... Oh, fuck. I deleted it. Undo. Oh, good. You can undo. How do you clear them? How do you clear a tile? I want to clear it. Clear. Just set... Oh, come on. Come on. Clear. Where's your clear tile? What the hell does that button do? Open or closed edges. I don't know what that means. Let's start that again. Sorry. The light color is going to represent green. So if light is green, then that means that this is this one, this one. Light color is green. So that is this one. Light color is green. So that is this one. Light color is green. So that is this one. We don't have one for that. Light color is green. So the inner edge is green. The outer edge is green. We don't have one for that. The left edge is green. The inner bottom left edge is green. The top edge is green. The top corner is green. The inner corner is green. And then this is all sand. I think that's how you do it. Now let's go into our room and have a look and see if that worked. And if it didn't work, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Auto tile 1. There you go. Wonderful. It actually kind of worked. I probably fucked up a little bit of it, but you get the idea. 2 tiles are duplicated. All right, let's see if we can fix it, because it probably will save us a hell of a lot of time. Now I'm regretting not fixing the auto tiles up to begin with, because, yeah, it saves a lot of time. Small as in simple. 2 tiles duplicated. Which one's duplicated? That one is duplicated. Someone said Alt Delete. No, Alt Delete. Oh, hang on. Alt Delete. No, Alt Delete did nothing. Alt Delete. What is this? Oh, here we go. Ah, so left edge. Sorry, so left edge is green. So that should have been this. Can we zoom in on this at all? Oh, we can. Wonderful. So this one here, left edge is green. This inner bottom right edge should have been green. And then this top edge is green. Right, that should fix it. I think that solves the problem. Let's head back to our room and test that out. Corner top green. Corner top green. I think they're okay now. It's good. Let's try it out. Libraries, auto tiles. Ah, how sick is that? That is so cool. All right, we did it, guys. There you go. Auto tiles. There are some situations that it can't deal with because we don't have the assets for it, like this, but it works. Wonderful. Well, there you go. That's how you use auto tiles in Game Maker. That's what we should have done from the beginning. Let's rename this to Grass Island. There we go. RIP all of that time. I know. I know. I'm not going to bother setting any more of them up, though, because that'll do. That will do, my friends. That will do. So now we can... What are we doing next? We have a room. We have a player. What does the room actually look like? More islands. Andrew Kerr wants to see more islands. If that is the case... No, that's alright. We won't do more islands just yet. We'll do more islands... Blah, 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 blah. We'll do more islands later. What we'll do quickly is we will set up... I don't know how auto tiles work for any of this sort of stuff. You sure you won't set up shores? Alright, I'll set up shores. I'll do it. I'm just being lazy. Let's set up shores. Let's create a new auto tile. Let's rename it to shores. There we go. And then we'll come down here and we'll begin. So the light edge is going to be the light edge will be the shore section. So this here needs to be that. That needs to be that. This needs to be shit. That needs to be that's top. So that needs to be that. That needs to be that. Then the right side. Then we don't have a graphic for that. Then the inner. Oh shit! What's that? That is the top. No, that would be that. I think I fucked up. I think I did. I think I did. That would not be that. We don't. That's gonna be that. That's going to be that. We don't have a graphic for that. That's going to be that. This one will be this. That will be top. This will be bottom left, bottom right, and then just fully transparent. Do we have a fully transparent tile? I'll just put it as that one for now. Alright, let's see if that worked. Okay, libraries. Can I follow you back on Twitter? Killer Beast, of course. I'll follow you back right now, my friend. There you go. I'll even put it on the stream for you to see. There you go. Follow. Procrastination is a dish best served at some point. Yeah, exactly. Did that work? Okay. The left and right and up and the left and right ones are mirrored. So let's see if we can solve that. This is why I hate doing these. So left and right are mirrored. That then... that needs to be... Okay, which one are you? This needs to be that. And that needs to be this. I think that's what I had. Let's flip them around. Doesn't help that these are also transparent. There we go. So that's... Oh, fuck this. You got the sides wrong. Simple fix. I hate tile sets. Alright. Center, bottom left, bottom right, down. Ah, here we go. That needs to be the inner outer edge. There we go. Then that needs to be... It's hard to see them as well because they're transparent. That one needs to be this one. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. That looks better. That looks much better. Alright, let's go back to the room and try that. Hey, there we go. We fixed it. Oh, that sucked. Alright, more islands. More islands. Let's go ahead and just throw down some islands like this. Let's throw an island down like that. Throw an island over here. That's what you guys wanted to see. More islands, right? Throw some islands over here. There we go. And you know what we'll do? We'll actually kind of enclose the world in islands. Because that way you can't escape. You know, it's kind of like this is the world's edge. Something like this. More islands. We'll do that. right? And this way we can have like a world map that people can't leave. Let's fill in the... Oh, come on, it doesn't work with auto tiles. Really? Can I not fill in auto tiles? Ah, pain. That's right, we'll do it by hand. This is a hell of a lot easier than having to have done it manually in the first place anyway, so... There we go. Oh, shit. That's not the end of the world. What is it? Piracy, yes. This game is about piracy, exactly. Is there like a flood fill erase function? Or like a... Oh god, Game Maker sucks. Sometimes. Really hard. Surely there's a way to get rid of these. Eraser. Oh, here we go. Brush size. That's better. Sometimes I surprise myself when I find a function like that. And I'm like, ah, yes, I know this function. There we go. Right, now let's increase the brush size and we'll just come and fill these edges in. Like we were doing before we decide, oh my god, come on, really? Alright, there we go. Okay, this is almost done. Fill in that edge. Okay, we're done! This is why I backed off Game Maker. I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. This kind of crap drives me nuts. There we go. That will certainly do for our islands. There we go. Now we have a real, relatively real looking kind of landmass. Now let's head to the shores layer. Can we flood fill? No, we can't. I was hoping we could mask it off of the above layer. But we can't do that. So we will just go ahead and zoom in on these islands and we'll just create the auto tiles that we need to create. At least we don't have to do it manually. Oh my god, all that wasted time before. I should have listened to you guys before and just done this. Okay. Getting there. This is like watch a guy make maps in Game Maker live stream. You should try auto tiles. Yeah. The stream has proven the power of auto tiling. It has. Indeed. Only when the tile set works in your favor. Alright. It's kind of funny, like, earlier we had 30 people here. I guess they got bored watching me auto tile shit. I would too. I don't blame you. I'll be honest, this is boring. Ever thought of doing a Ludum Dare or a Ludum Dare? I have. And I don't want to. I don't like the idea of being constrained by time on a weekend to create a project that other people are going to judge for no apparent reason. I just make shit when I feel like making shit. And don't really need a competition to do it, if that makes sense. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that. A lot of my friends do the Ludum Dare. They enjoy it. I just don't like having to wake up, you know, at like 6 o'clock in the morning to make a game to compete in a competition. It's kind of silly. But that's just me. Is there a program that is just tile set painting? Like if I wanted to make a game world but just wanted an array of tile numbers. Honestly, I have no idea. You could use... Oh, actually, you could use Tiled, the software. Ah, thank you, Killer Beast. Much appreciated. Yeah, you could use... what's that software called? Tiled. T-I-L-E-D. I'm pretty sure that does what you're looking for. You can export your maps out into a file that just contains the indices of the tile objects. Okay. Excuse me. We will get programming soon enough, I think. How funny would it be if I just said, alright guys, thanks for watching. This is the end of the stream. I'm kidding. I'm not leaving yet. I want to actually get some work done before I go. That would be like the ultimate troll. Connect two island shores like they connect. Yes! That is a great idea. We will do that. Let me just finish edging this world. And we will go ahead and do that. I like that idea. Okay. To my screw it, that's fine. There is such a thing as shallow water, so we can certainly go ahead and do that. Okay. 2 more edges left to go. Almost there. Man, these auto tiles have definitely proved themselves worthwhile. Yeah, the way videos are presented, and I'll agree, I do it as well. When I edit my tutorials, it's kind of just like, all you need to do to make a game is click this button, and then bam! Game done. It's really not that simple. You really do need to spend time doing this sort of crap. There we go. I connected the islands together. Making a website for my favorite YouTubers. Any suggestions? Ben, you Heartbeast, if you're doing a game development stuff, he is great. Brackies, I don't know him at all, but I've watched his videos. They're also really good. Who else? I don't know. There's a couple of people making Game Maker tutorials and Unity tutorials. Ben and Brackies are really the only two that I watch. Personally. Let's connect some of these islands together. Like that. Okay. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. And these areas, maybe you get like bogged down in them or something. We'll figure that out later. Gloomy Toad is one of the... Gloomy Toad was in here the other day. No, go for it, man. If they're a good tutorial producer, I don't really care. That's all good. As long as they're good. Because if they're shit, then yeah, no. No, that didn't look right. Finally! Maybe I should be making Game Maker. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's exactly a high traffic topic, to be honest. It took a long time to grow. Like 3 or 4 years, to be specific. Oh man, how bad would that have been if I put these tiles on the wrong layer? Oh my god. Guys, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I just got to blow my nose. 1 sec. Nose blown. I'm back. As weird as it sounds, Andrew, I still remember the time that I had 8 subscribers. You know, it's kind of... It's just a time, you know? Like, you'll have a time where you have that many subscribers. It just is. Alright, let's... What are we gonna do here? I kind of want to put these castle things down, but I don't want to waste any time doing it. It needs to be done. Names of your favorite YouTubers. Oh, I can show you my favorite YouTubers. Let me show you my favorite YouTubers. I am subscribed to a shitload of people. Subscriptions. Here we go. I will show you my subscriptions. So you can see them. Here we go. Slight off topic for a moment. Pretty much all of these. 98D Make is awesome. Let's take a moment to go through some of these subscriptions. 98D Make. If you guys don't subscribe to this guy or have never heard of him, he's pretty low profile. Like, I subscribed to him when he had, like, 30K subscribers quite a while ago. But, like, he takes games and he remakes them in like 1998 style. I'm not gonna copyright his video, obviously, but he'll show you like Rocket League in a PlayStation 1 case, and then I don't know how he does it, but it's freaking awesome. Look at that. It's like a PS1 game version of Rocket League. Anyway, he does this for all sorts of games. 98D Make, highly recommend. A-Stat, yes. Abroad in Japan is pretty cool. That's just if you get into Japanese stuff. Adafruit. These are just gamers. Alex, French guy cooking. He cooks some stuff. It's pretty cool. Subscribe to a lot of cooking channels and gaming channels. Applied Science. This guy is like a genius. He makes stuff like he's like a crazy scientist at home. Av, this guy is hilarious. He does like hardware tool break teardowns and stuff like that. Really enjoy his channel. Ben, obviously. Trying to think who else is. Oh, Captain Disillusion is awesome. This guy. I'm just pulling out some of my favorite ones that I watch regularly. Like, I subscribe to a lot of stuff, but these are the ones I watch. This guy like debunks video effects. Like when you see a meme of someone, not a meme, sorry, when you see like a viral video of a guy throwing basketballs into hoops from like across the road, and every single one is like a swish, this guy shows you how he did that with his video effects. Who else have we got in here? Colin Furs. You guys all know Colin Furs. Like, everyone knows him. He's super popular now. Cody's Lab is kind of like Colin Furs, but less funny. He just does stuff, makes his own Google Play button, like castings and things like that. Some musicians. Did You Know Gaming? You know that. Digital Foundry. You guys all know that. Yeah, I got heaps and heaps of subscribers. A lot of this shit is old as well. Like, I haven't watched a lot of it. EV blog. This Frank Howarth guy, if you get into construction or woodcrafting or woodworking or anything like that, he does some really cool woodworking projects. I get into like handicrafts and things like that. Game grammar is quite fun if you're learning Japanese. This guy plays games and shows you what they mean, like in Japanese, so you can learn along as you play games, which is quite fun. Good Mythical Morning, like I watch this every day, almost a lot. I don't like their new format, but they got some stuff. Anyway, you get the idea. I subscribe to a lot of stuff. A lot of Japanese stuff, a lot of gaming stuff. Geez, some Japanese music. These girls are awesome. I like this band. I'm obviously not going to play their music because copyright, but you guys can check them out. They're pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of subscribers. Oh, Mike Jeeverton, really cool. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff in here. My Life in Gaming. This channel is awesome. These guys do getting the best picture quality out of your retro game consoles if you get into that. What hardware to use, how to hook them up. Anyway, I'm going back to working on my game now. So there's a brief overview of some of my subscriptions. So anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. Now, we have top circles and below circles. I wonder if... Does anyone know? You guys might know this. Andrew. I wonder if these are connectable. No, they're not. They're not. I'm imagining things. Let's create a new tile layer. Let's call this... let's rename it. And we'll call this... I don't know... Castle? Tiles, castle. I don't know what they are. We'll just call it castle, so that will do. Game tiles. And then I'm not going to spend a great amount of time doing this, but what we'll do is, I think the simplest way to do this is just to put down these like this, right? And then take these ones. Nah, shit, that's not going to work, is it? And just do this. Right, I got to do it like that, don't I? There is no simple way to auto tile this, I don't think, that I'm aware of. Yeah, so we'll do something like that. You can auto tile castle walls as well. No worries, Killer Beast. You can auto tile. All right, let's do it. Can you guys give me a hand with the auto tile? Because I have no idea how you would set that up, honestly. The central tile is going to be this. Oh, you're right. You can auto tile it. So the light color is going to be the corner. So then that one, then that one. The top edge is going to be that one. The light color is going to be top right. The light color is going to be vertical. We don't have that. The light color is going to be... What does an inner edge look like? It doesn't matter, does it? It should be the same. That's the same. That one doesn't matter. That's a vertical edge. That's a top right corner. That's a horizontal edge. That's an inner left corner. That's a bottom left corner. And then we'll just have a blank tile for that one. Let's rename that to castle walls. I don't know if this will work, but we can try it. You know, we can see how it goes. All right, so let's come in here. Let's erase all of what I done, all of what I did. Oh, yeah, that not quite what I was thinking. Actually, it does work, but maybe we need to edit it a little bit. Maybe the inner tile needs to be blank, like that. The switch for open and close tile. It's to the right. Okay, we'll try that. Ah, it auto closes. Right, you're cool. Cool, cool. So let's try to put down the auto tile now. Castle walls. No, you need a tile or else it doesn't work. That's okay. We can put the middle tile because I don't mind going back to erase them. That's fine. I think it just needs something there though to trigger it. So let's just put down the middle tile like it was. And I can go back and erase that. That's no problem. But that still didn't work. What is this open closed edges thing you're talking about? Open or closed edges? Open edges. Try to fill all the tiles for good measure. Yeah. Okay, so those are correct. That's correct. That's correct. I'm just flicking this on and off so we can see. They should be right. I think. But they're still getting some issues. Start from center and work out. I see what you mean. Hey, we can certainly do something with this. Yeah, there are circumstances that it doesn't work. Now you've got me like hooked on trying to figure out these auto tiles. Show guide overlay. What does this open closed edges do? I don't know. That doesn't work. Start from center and work out. And it always creates a full square, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm just going to get rid of that one, to be honest. Let's stop wasting time. Let's just go. Let's actually just make a game, you know? I'll just do them by hand for now. It's fine. We'll use the tiles. I will literally just do one to save time. Like this. Okay. Do that. Because I'm going to make the cannons walled objects. So that way we don't have to worry about them. And also then we can do this and just have sort of like one edge. Exactly. We'll just rough it out like that, you know? Doesn't have to be wonderful. We'll create one more tile layer and we'll call this, rename this, we'll call this just ground objects. Actually, tiles underscore ground objects. Ground detail. Can we create a group in here as well? Create a new folder. Here we go. Let's rename this called tiles. And let's put that in there. And then let's put these underneath that as it was. Now on ground details, again, same tile set. And we'll just throw down some rocks. Some little rubbly things. Something a little washed up shore. We'll throw down some little trees like that. They need a random brush. I'm sure there is a random brush actually. Oink doink, not much. We're doing the same thing. Now, something else, this background layer here, can we put a tile? No tile layer selected. No, that's not what I meant to do. Undo, none. I want that tile of water. You know what, let's cheat. Let's put a tile layer and just call it TS background. Simple. Probably inefficient as all hell, but let's try it. Tiles background. Then we can get rid of the background layer. Description for 98D make. Guy makes games look like PlayStation 1. There we go. Now we've got the water sprite that they wanted us to use. Let's turn that off because I don't like that water that much. But if we... Oh shit, if it's a background... No, let's do this. Let's go and take that sprite out of its sprite set and create it into its own little sprite. So we'll go from there to there. We'll copy that. We will create a new sprite and we'll paste it in. Okay, that did not work. Let's take that, which we did. Can we paste it in here? No, we can't paste it in here. That's weird. Why not? I just did that. Can I brush that on there? Can I brush it in here? Oh, it's a brush now, so I can. Wonderful. There we go. That will do. Let's call this SPR underscore water. I want to put that as the background layer. I do watch the 8-bit guy. He's cool. Well, he's not cool, but his videos are awesome. You have water separated in a file. Yes, you're right, I do. I could have done that. Sorry. My bad. Now, if I set the background sprite to water, the game... Oh, shit. Why have we got this? Why is it gone... Oh, there we go. Horizontal and vertical tiling. And then I want it to speed. I don't want it to go fast. I want it to go 0.1 by 0.1. So that should make it move diagonally. I'm thinking that's going to give us a water movement effect under the game. But I actually want it to go the other way. Negative 0.1. Let's actually speed these up so that we can see the effect. Castle has to... Yeah, you're right. It does have to be an object. There we go. So now the water kind of moves in the background. That'll do. And the room is doing something weird here. We need to set this to 1280 by 720. Otherwise, our aspect ratio is all messed up. There we go. There we go. Okay. For the room, I'm not going to make it into a... Sorry, not the room. Sorry. For the walls, I'm not going to make the walls into an object because I'll put objects on top of the walls that can be destroyed. Specific ones. So, now that we have... I don't know their descriptions. You just check their channels. They have their own descriptions. So now that we've got the water done, and the tiles done and our instance layer up here, we can go to our player object and let's begin with some code. In our create event, let's just say, I'm going to comment this one. I didn't comment the other one. Oh, he's great. He's a really good channel. I watch a lot of his videos. Instantiate, I don't know if I spelled that wrong. Instantiate player. Right, now in here we're going to say image speed equals 0 to disable the animations, because we'll use those animations. Oh god, we'll use the animations to destroy, not to destroy, sorry, to calculate its destruction. So we'll say disable animations. There we go. Then we'll set up some player variables. Actually, we'll call it player stats. Player underscore health equals, for now we'll set it to 5. We'll adjust all of this later. We'll have movement variables, and we will set this to be player direction equals 0, which I think is down, which also means that our ships, all of them, description for create event, instantiate player, yeah, it's a great description. Our ship needs to be facing right, so we need to image rotate all frames anti-clockwise. There we go. Now we are green. We're gonna let me do this to all of them because of Game Maker's directional handling stuff. We need to make sure they're all facing the right direction, literally the right direction, not some abstract concept of the right direction. So let's go ahead and rotate this one, and then we will rotate this one as well. There we go. Now they are all rotated to face the correct my god. Rotated to face the correct direction. Is anyone having trouble watching the stream, by the way? It's telling me that, or YouTube is telling me that the stream is video output low. It's telling me that there's some issues with the stream, but I don't know if there is, because no one's mentioned it yet. Anyway, that's all facing the right direction, literally the right direction. Direction 0 means that we're facing right. Stream's working fine. All right, perfect. Thank you. Now we also need to have a... Looks good to you? Awesome. Okay, we'll leave it as it is then. Object camera target. Now I want to put the camera target on the world at the location of the player. Actually, I don't want the camera target to be on the player. I just want it to be in the world. Sort of starting at the center of the player. So that'll be fine there. Stream's fine. All right. Thanks, guys. And instead of following the ship, we're going to follow the camera target. Then what we can do in camera target is... Actually, we'll do all of this in the player. We will move the camera target based on the player's click drag. So let's have a global mouse left pressed. Global mouse left pressed. And we will call this, we'll capture our, let's add a camera variables in here. Screen, actually we'll call this selection X equals 0, selection Y equals 0. Then what we'll do is when we say the left button is pressed, we'll say move camera equals false, and we'll put that in there. Don't forget to parent as much as you can. Remember how much of a yeah, I know. We'll try and create a good enemy handling system for this one. So when the left is pressed, we will say move camera equals true. Move camera equals true. And then we will set the selection X and selection Y to the current mouse X and mouse Y positions. There we go. And then we'll add a step event that says Actually, let's bring the description back. We'll call this process player. Really great descriptions. Process player and camera. Okay, so if move camera, then we need to calculate the difference between the current mouse position and the selection position. So so we'll just say diff x equals selection x minus mouse x, and we'll do the same for diff y. This is the difference between where we selected and where our mouse currently is. Not mouse T, mouse Y. And we'll add another one, which is global mouse left released. And in here, we will say move camera equals false. Don't move, or disable camera movement. Disable camera movement. Move camera equals false. So now when we select anywhere on the screen, we need to set this up here as enable camera movement. When we select anywhere on the screen, we enable it. Then when we let go, we disable it. And then in our step event, if the camera movement is, if we are moving the camera, then we will calculate the difference between the selection X and selection Y and the mouse X and mouse Y, and then we will apply that to the camera target. So obj camera target plus equals diff X and dot X dot Y plus diff Y. And we will capitalize this correctly, otherwise it won't work. So now in theory, we should be able to click and drag. Now it might be going the wrong way. We might need to adjust our maths. No, that's all good. So there we go. Now we can click and drag, right? Now obviously it's not exactly smooth movement, and that's what we'll fix next. We will not just add the values to the move camera function. We will set... Thanks, guys. Yes, I saw the selection T. We will linear interpolate between the positions, I guess. So we will say lerp. Actually, we'll say equals lerp. And the position is going to be its current position and diff x. Is that right? That might be wrong. I have a feeling that's wrong because I may need to calculate it with the subtraction. But let's see if it works first, because diff x and diff y might return room positions. Diff y. What did I do wrong? Oh yeah, sorry, and a speed. 0.1. 0.1. Should add velocity. Yeah. Yeah, see that? But here's actually, you know what? You know what? I've done something wrong. I've done something wrong. This is all wrong. What we need to actually do is give it a target X and a target Y and have it move itself. That way, when we let go of the button, it doesn't just abruptly stop. It will finish its movements. So we'll say obj camera target dot target X equals, and that is going to be its position plus the difference. Like that. We'll do the same thing for Y. Target Y, its position plus the Y. I keep pressing T for some reason. And then we'll get rid of this, and we'll give it its own target, you see? And then, if in its create event, we'll say instantiate the camera, target X equals X, target Y equals Y. And that way, it can process its own movement with lerp. Process camera movement. Process camera movement. Did I write it wrong again? Thank you. No, that's right. Target X should be equal to that. Plus equals... Hang on, that should be right. Why is that wrong? Plus equals? Oh, sorry. Turn my brain on today. Yeah, right. Got it. Yeah, you guys are right. You see how much editing goes into the videos when I upload them? I code like this all the time. I go back and I'm like, how come that function doesn't work? Oh, that's right. You can't do that. So now what we'll do is we will linear interpolate to these positions. Morning, Jeff. Gmail doesn't require that. It doesn't, but I primarily code in JavaScript, so I tend to put that in most places just to keep it clean, so I don't lose my habits when I go back to actually work code. So then what we'll do is we'll say x equals lerp, and let's add a variable in here called lerp factor equals 0.1. Actually, we'll call it move factor 0.1. And we're going to lerp from x to target x with lerp factor. Is that what I called it? Lerp factor. I think that's what I called it. Move factor. Sorry. I do it as well. It's not needed, but just because every other language uses it, it just makes sense. I know, I feel wrong if I don't do it. That's right. Oh, hello, dog. What are you doing? My dog just came to visit me. Good boy. All right. So now we are lerping to those positions. And now this way, when we drag, we click and drag, we should be able to move that camera. But when I let go, it will continue to flow itself into the position that we wanted it to go. Now, is that lerp factor good enough? Is it fast enough? No. I'm going to increase it. I want it to be a bit more snappy. But I also wanted it to be smooth. There we go. That's better. That's much better. Do you guys want to see the puppy? Let me. He's not actually a puppy. I call him a puppy. He's just a big shithead. Let me bring him in here. One sec. All right, he's here now. Cooper, hey, come back. Sit down. Sit down. Good boy. All right, here you go, guys. Camera is on. There you go. There's the puppy. Cooper? Hey. No, he wants to go and hang out with my wife. I'll turn that off now. Sorry, odd stream, I know. Don't mind the floor. It's messy. It's covered in dog hair. Haven't vacuumed. Anyway. Can you publish 2D games on things like the Windows Store without buying an engine license like Gmail? You have to pay $400. You can, but... I need an address that's mine now. You can, but you have to put a like a made with game maker kind of thing on there. Right, so anyway, our camera movement is done. I'm quite happy with that. It's pretty snappy, relatively snappy. The other thing I want to do, which we forgot to do, is increase our game speed to 60 frames per second. So I'm just going to do that now, and I will also halve our background movement speeds because we don't want them to be moving that fast. We want them to be moving at 0.2 and negative 0.2. That way it's a little bit more subtle, and since the game is running faster, the background won't move so quickly. There we go. Now it's much smoother. That's better. Before it was a bit choppy. Okay, so now we've got that. The next thing we need to do is make it so that when we left press, we need to make sure that we are not clicking on the player. Yeah, no, oink. That's not cool. So when we left press, we don't want to enable this move this move camera if we are selecting the player or clicking on an enemy. How the hell do we do that? We can say, we could do a check. Right button should jump to ship. Yes! Love it! I'm going to do that right now. Let's do that first. Other mouse global right pressed. This is just going to say move camera. No, it doesn't need to do that. All we need to do is just set this to the current player's position. We'll say this jump to player. Jump to player. And we'll set the target to be the obj player ship.x We'll do the same thing for Y. Yeah, we can do that. That's what we'll probably do. We'll do a collision check to see if we've... we'll do a check to see if we've touched the player instead. If we have, then we won't. So, there we go. So, if you're far away and you right-click, it jumps you back to your player. Right, that's cool. I like that. Very cool. Now, what if we have a selected player? I'm just thinking, how do we process the movement? Because if you click on this guy first, I kind of want it to draw a line where you want the guy to, the ship to move. So if you've clicked on this, we want it to make sure that it doesn't drag. So what we'll do is we'll do another mouse check. I don't know if, I think the order of events for this are okay. So I think we can do something like handle ship selection. And in here, movement variables, camera variables, and player stats. So I think this will be a camera movement variable. No, this will be a camera variable. Ship selected equals false. Right? So I think in our left pressed, we say ship selected equals true, because I think the order of events are left pressed first and then global. So we will only do this if ship selected equals false. We're only going to process this movement if you have not selected your own ship. And then we'll do a left released, a mouse event for left released, which will say select ship. First of all, middle button pops up a list of actions like move, anchor, etc. Maybe. I don't know if we'll get that far though. We'll have to see how far we get with this idea first. And then deselect ship. So deselect ship. And then we'll set that to false. So that's when the left button is released. So I hope the order of events is local events first. It is. Wonderful. Right, now if I select the ship and let go elsewhere, it doesn't deselect. So we actually don't need the left released function. We need to put that in our global left released function. Deal with mouse up. So first of all, we will turn off camera movement, and we'll also deselect our ship. There we go. Turn off camera movement and deselect. Turn off, I guess since I'm camera movement, I think I'm doing that. Does the ship move? No. So the ship, not yet. The ship doesn't move just yet. That's what we're going to do next, is we can move around unless we click and drag on our ship. If we click and drag on the ship, nothing happens. So we can move around everywhere except for where we click on our ship. If we click on our ship and drag, I want it to draw a path that the ship will follow. So that way we can just click and drag, and then the ship will follow that path. And if we right-click, it takes us back to our ship. I think that's how I want this to play. So you would do that, and then you would like follow the ship around, or you could just right-click. Something like that. I don't know yet. So now we have the ability to determine if the ship is selected. Now we need to create ship waypoints. So if the move camera function is selected, we need to tell the camera object to move. How do you plan to calculate the path? I'm thinking of dropping waypoints from the place that was selected. We'll enable a timer, and then we'll create a bunch of waypoints every n seconds, I guess, or n frames. We'll create a waypoint, and then we'll connect the dots between each waypoint to create a line on the screen. Actually, can you create a path at runtime in GameMaker? I don't know. That's actually a good question. Path drawing. Now I know we can do that, but can we create our own paths in code? Path points. Here we go. Path prop. No. Editing. No, I don't want that. Path add point. Here we are. So we do have some functions. Do we have a path create? Let's have a look. Paths. Here we are. Path information. Right. So no, we can't create a path at runtime. but we can add points to a path. We can add points to a path. Surely we can create one at runtime. That seems weird. Path underscore create. No, there's no create function. Path add. Yeah, but path add, you need to have an existing path. Oh, path add. Fucking Game Maker, man. Everything is called like DS list create, you know, X underscore create. Path is called path add. Alright, path add. This function will return the index of the path, which should be stored in a variable and used as a reference for the path from now on. Using MP grids to generate the path. Once you're finished using the path or wish to create a new one, you should... Oh, hang on. Once you have finished using the path or wish to create a new one and store its index in the same variable, you should first delete the old path with path delete to prevent a memory leak. This function is not available in the trial license. That's fine. We don't have the trial license. This will create a new path. All right, cool. And then we can use path add point, index, x, y, and speed. And then I'm guessing there's a path follow. Is there a path follow? I haven't worked much with paths before. No. Oh, here we go. Path action continue. Path start. There it is. Alright, so let's first of all, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's play... It's English, British, hence color. Yeah. Let's create a path in the editor first. Let's create a test path. Now, in the original Game Maker, you used to be able to put the path on the background of the map. Can we still do that? Sorry, not in the original Game Maker. In Game Maker Studio 1, you could load a map behind a path. Undo. I've got a path. Oh man, they've changed too much. Shift path. That should be fine. Do I have to have the room editor open to do it? Is there a path? There we go. Create a new path layer. There we go. That's what I wanted. So from the path layer, let's select this path, path 0. And then... Yeah, GM2 is Game Maker with a face. Yeah, that's okay. I figured that would happen, man. Like, people will get bored. We're doing game development. It's okay. So now we've got this. There's our path selected. It is red, path 0. But if we go into our path, are we going to see it? No, we still don't see it. Let's just add some points and see what they look like on the map. Right, our path is up here. There it is. Right, now we can do it. That's what I wanted to do. Now we can't add more points because it just doesn't let us. Oh yeah, we can. We just click on it. Cool. Alright, sweet. So let's delete all of those points. Will you put path on different codes? Yeah, we will. We'll do... The way that the path is going to work is completely different to everything I've done. I want to delete all of these. Sorry for the confusion. I want to go back here and just create a path that we can follow around the islands like this. There we go. And let's turn that into a curve. Now the path should be cool. Let's put that just like there. Right. Now we have a path, and I want to get this ship to follow that path. So let's have a look and see what we can do. There is this path start, path underscore start function. Path speed, end action, absolute. So path is just going to be path 0. The speed is going to be 1. The end action is going to be... end action is whether or not it repeats. So let's have a look. End action. I remember this. End action. Let's have a look. The path Path start. Here we go. Path start. End action. What to do if the end of the path is reached. See the constants list listed below. Path action stop, restart, continue, or reverse. Continue from the current point. So we'll just use path action stop. So path action stop and absolute. I should have checked what absolute meant. Path start. Let's have a look at this. So what have we got? Absolute. Whether the instance should follow the absolute path as it is in the editor or a true or a relative path to its current position. We're going to use a absolute path. So we'll set this to true. There we go. So now, technically, if I run the game, the ship should follow that path. Technically. Good enough. So now we have the ship following a path. What we'll need to do is we'll create a path at runtime for our ship to follow. And for our NPCs, I'm just going to create a bunch of paths that they can follow, you know, by themselves. But we'll create our own path at runtime. That way we don't have to deal with collisions with islands and stuff like that. It makes it make it a little bit easier. We will for our player, so we can't create a path. I'll have to use a global. Yeah, something like that. We will for our player, but that should be fine. Ship sprite X in middle and Y as well. Alright, now the question is, can we get from a path the direction of the next point? Path underscore get. Here we go. I need to figure out, can we get the points of a path? Doing multiplayer in game make it difficult. Yes. Well, not difficult, but pain in the ass. The problem is the image angle of the ship. Yeah, that's fine. We just need to work out the distance between our point and the next point. We've got paths. Path information. Path get point X. The index of the path to check. The identity to check. Example. My path, I. That's a random position. It's chosen the random point and move to that point. No, we don't want to use that. Point get speed. What about start? So what does start? Start will just start the path. Turns the speed, but how do... Ah, here we go. You can use the path position, for example. Turns the speed factor. The position should be a value between 0 and 1. With 0 being the start position and 1 being the end. Returned by the actual path speed being set. So path position. This function can be used to get or set the position of an instance along a path. The value is normalized from 0 to 1. So if you set it to, for example, 0.5, the instance will be moved to exactly the middle of the path. That doesn't help us because it doesn't get us the index. Yeah, that's right. We'll adjust the image angle of the points, but we need to get the point. We need to get the point of the path. We need to get the next destination point so we can calculate the angle of the ship's movement. Path orientation. There we go. Holds the current orientation of the path. 0 degrees. Here we go. I think this is it. Path orientation. Path orientation. Path orientation 90. It doesn't seem to be the one. No, make a separate object. If you make a path follow object and have that follow path, then point to object as it moves. Yeah, if you have an right, I see what you mean. Make another object that follows the same path and have the ship point to that object. We can do that, but that's hacky. I want it actually to follow the points on the path, if that makes sense. Like, it should be able to calculate its point. Path underscore. What functions do we have? Path get speed, precision, time. There's no get current point function. You have to calculate the arc angle. It won't look best with curved. Yeah, you're right. It won't with the curved points. So we need to have something. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Huh. In that case, then. That is a pain. Path get point X. Path get point Y. Those... What is N? Path get point. Let's have a look at this function first. Path get point... damn keyboard. Path get point X. What does this function do for us? The point identity check, yeah, so it's just... Yeah, you're right. Maybe then paths are not the... Oh, they should be. Alright, let's try it. Let's create a object. We'll call this obj underscore player path target. Then we will have the player create an instance of the target. Path targeting. We'll create an instance of that. So we'll say instance create at depth. Instance create at depth. The X and Y is going to be my X, my Y, depth 0, obj player path target. Does instance create return the ID of the object? It should do. Real ID value. Yeah, it does. Cool. So we'll call this my target equals that. My target equals my... Oh, Jesus, keyboard. All right, so my target equals that. And then we'll say with target. With target. What am I doing? With target. With my target. Oh, God, keyboard. Autocomplete. So with my target, we will have the target follow the path. Like so. And then the ship will follow the target. So in our step event, we'll say follow my target. So X equals my target dot X. Y equals my target dot Y. Now before we update our position, we need to calculate the direction to our target. So target direction equals point direction, which is a function, which is from our X and our Y to my target dot X, my target dot Y. And then we will set our image angle to target direction. Now, if we run... I think the stream's a bit behind, Andrew. But yeah, direction first, of course. Okay. Not as smooth as I'd have liked, but we could use a... I don't think you can lerp angles, especially when they go around 0. Can you lerp an angle? There's a question. It's a good question. Game Maker lerp angle. There should be a function for this. I think there is an example as well. Yes, the player will control it. Is there a lerp dir function? I don't think there is such a function. Let's see if we can find a script. Lerp angle function. And we can just copy the function and create a script. Best way to interpolate 2D angles. just lerp. I don't think you can do just lerp because once it goes from 0 to... Sorry, when it goes from 360 to 0, it goes all the way back to 0. You should make the camera follow the ship whenever the left click isn't being held down. Yes, King Frederick, but then you wouldn't be able to move the cat. Like, say, for instance, you drag the ship over here, and then you want to have a look what's coming, you know? You go, oh, okay, there's enemies over here, so actually we're going to go this way, you know, and drag the ship to follow those paths. So you come up here, and then you can go, oh, okay, there's some enemies over here. There's nothing that way. We're going to go this way, and then you can drag the ship around, you know? You'll control the ship by dragging. But before we do any of that, we need to interpolate the angles. So we need to interpolate angle. Rotation interpolation. Here we go. Excuse me. So let's have a look at this. Sorry, I'm just looking for a script to do this. Game maker lerp angle. Yeah, so right click will take you back to the ship, so that way you can function angle difference. Here we go. Sorry guys, I know that's kind of boring. I'm just looking for a script. We can use angle difference. All right, so let's try and figure this out. So, if we use angle difference, so say angle diff equals angle difference between image angle and target direction, and then we lerp from image angle to angle diff. We say image angle equals that, and the speed is 0.1. We can get rid of this. That will deal with our 360 loop arounds. Actually, I'm pretty sure someone said angle dir in the comments, and I... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not quite. Yeah, no. That's not going to work. What did I do wrong there? That is just the difference between the angles. That should work. Okay, then. I had a script for this ages ago. Game maker lerp angle. I'm trying to find it. Have you centered the ship's orientation? Yeah, I have. The origin is centered, yeah. Movement speed. No, that's not the one. I'm just checking some Reddit posts. The ships are centered. They should be. Green ship should be... Ah! What the hell? Sorry, you're right. I didn't middle center them. Sorry, guys. So what I did work? Is that what that means? I don't know. Let's have a look. I still don't think... I'm not 100% if that actually worked, but... Let's have a look. Yeah, still not quite. Still not quite, but at least now we've solved one potential issue. Okay. Image ankle. It wobbles, you're right, it does. I would have thought taking steps to the target angle with the difference of our angle would have been correct. No worries. Movement direction. Calculate the movement speed. Okay. Turn angle over time. This red is not the one. Is there a Unity script? Unity angle lerp. We'll find the code. Here we go. mathf.lerp angle. Lerp angle. I can find a script in any language. I'll port it. Lerp angle source. Mathf. Here we go. Unity's code. Lerp angle. Lerp angle. Here we are. Alright, we've got a script. Let's port this. Alright, sorry guys. Lerp to target. Just try it. That's what I did, wasn't it? Image angle equals lerp image angle. Oh, that's what you mean. Target 0.1. There is a problem with that, though. That might work. That definitely works, but I'm sure there's a problem with that. That's the problem. Did you see that? There's the problem again. What that is because angles are 0 to 360 degrees, where 360 and 0 are both facing right. So once you get to 360 and you are lerping from 360 to 0 because it goes over that threshold, then it lerps all the way from 360 back to 0 and it reverses and spins around the wrong way. So you need a specific function to deal with lerping of angles. I think I've got it anyway. Let's call this script lerp angle. Can you normalize it around 180? Possibly. Let's just do this here. So let's copy this function here. Mathf.repeat. I don't know what mathf.repeat does. That doesn't help me at all. So if your angle delta is 20 degrees, normalize your angle to 0 to 180. I have no idea how to do that. Yeah, not that. Game maker. Angle difference. There is an angle difference function in Game Maker. I'm just trying to think how we can use it. Here we go. Alright, I think we've got it. We don't need this script. Let's get rid of this script. That's in a different language as well. Doesn't matter, but... back to our ship. Let's go to here, and then let's do this. This is from Game Maker's documentation. Image angle to target direction. This is... what is this? Angle diff equals that, and then what we need to do is say diff. I don't know how the fuck that works, but if it works, it works. There we go. That works fine. Oh, it doesn't work fine. .1. That should be our lerping, I think. There we go. That'll do it. We did it! Jeez Louise. That was a... Ah, come on! It didn't work. Oh my god. In case you haven't gathered by now, I'm pretty shocking at math, so... Yeah. Lerp angle. Start angle, end angle. Set angles, that doesn't work. It's a feature, yeah. Every now and then the ships just decide to dance. It's like in when they made New Super Mario Bros. And the music would go like da 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 da, and then they'd all jump and do that little dance on the screen. How can I lerp an object's rotation? I'm just Googling on my second screen. Let's have a look. The problem with Unity is that when people tell you how to do it, there's a function for it. It's called lerp angle, which Game Maker doesn't have. Calculate the movement speed. Point towards the mouse. Angle difference. Direction. Movement direction. Ah! Can we do this? And then, forgetting about that, just set it to lerp image angle diff. I don't know if that'll work, but I just saw a script somewhere. Can you make that into a multiplayer game? No. Oh, what's wrong with this? There's one of these thingies here. And 0.1. King Frederick, current angle, target angle plus 20. Just add. Well, that doesn't work at all. Yeah, it's got the same problem. Let me read. Current angle is 350. Target angle equals 20. Just add 180 to the angle, lerp, and subtract 180. All right, so target. Just add 180 to the angle, lerp, and subtract. That still doesn't work because that just offsets the problem. There has to be a mathematical wraparound, otherwise it won't work. Angle between two objects. Angle difference should be the function. That's just the difference between that and that. Bloody hell. How does the game... I'm looking at the Game Maker documentation, by the way. Return the smallest angle difference between two angles as a value between negative 180 and 180 degrees, where a positive angle is anti-clockwise and negative is clockwise. Above code, we'll get the angle from the cursor. Then image angles slowly rotate towards that point. That should have done it, but it didn't. If current angle is greater than target angle, current angle plus equals 180. Alright. Let's try King Frederick's suggestion. Let's get rid of my code for a second. So we'll say if image angle is greater than target direction, image angle plus equals 180, then we lerp image angle to target direction, and then we subtract 180 from image angle. Minus equals 180. Only if it. That doesn't work. That doesn't seem like it would work. Yeah, that doesn't work. Nope. Okay. You can't. I'm certain you can't offset it. Like 100%. But I'm shit at math, so we need a literal angle lerp. Angle lerp function. Lerping between two angles, lerp angle. Here we go. What is this? You need the second if. Alright, let's try it with the second if. I'm just going to put this back in here. And then if that is greater than that, we'll say minus equals 180. Okay. Yeah. Nah, see, that still didn't work. Let's get rid of that. I'm gonna try and find a function to deal with rotation loop. Minimum angle max. Current X instead of minimum to angle max progress. Loop between two angles. I don't want the unity one. Angle loop. Here we go. What the hell is this website? Is there a... there's no source on this page. Change view. Oh man, that sucks. I found a function, but there's no source code for it. Angle loop direction. Here we go. Nope, not that one. No source code. Here we go. Image angle smooth rotation. Check out the functional angle source. I think I did that. Image angle minus equals angle difference. Here we go. I think I've got something. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Okay, let's try this. Okay, image angle equals the angle difference of itself to the target direction, which is this. Target direction times 0.05. There we go. Did we get it? Please don't spin. Please don't spin. No whirlpools. Hey, we got it. Oh my god, that took way too long. Alright. Sorry for my really crappy math. Okay. That's working wonderfully. Now we have a ship that follows the player's position. The other thing I want to do is... Alright, now we can actually get back to working on the game. Follow my target. And... Actually, that should be follow my target. This should say... Face my target. There we go. Save. Face my target and then follow my target. Now, the other thing is, if the right button is pressed, I want this right pressed only functions when it is pressed. Let's change this event from right pressed to global right down. That way, if you hold it, it should stay global right pressed. This should be global right down. There we go. That way, if you hold the right button, it should follow the player. There we go. So now I can hold the right button, and the camera will follow our player. If I let go, it stops. So we can, at least we can like set our player in motion, hold the button down, and then follow along. There's one thing that's annoying me, even though we are going to change it like almost immediately, and that is this point should probably just be a little bit more away from the island. No for movement. No we don't. No whirlpools, yeah, no for movement. Starting to take shape, starting to look good. I can imagine playing this now, like we're dragging along, our ship moves in that direction. There's an enemy, click, click, click. It like sails off up to it, and then, you know, they start having a little pirate fight. And the ocean is moving in the background, which gives it that wavy look, which is cool. Add drift from water. Oh god, no thanks. Too much then, I think. All right, so we've got this done. Our fake path is working. Now we need to make it so that when we drag on the player, we can see the path. Now, is there a debug function where we can visualize paths? There is a draw path function. Okay, so we can draw paths using the draw path function. So let's add a draw event. Let's add a deal with rendering. Let's add a draw self function, and then we'll say draw path. The path is going to be path 0. X and Y is going to be 0, 0, absolute, true, I think. Absolute is definitely true. Let's have a look. Do we get to see the path now? Alright, cool. We can see the path on the screen that the ship should be following. The reason why I want to be able to draw the path, also draw the follow object as a square or an ellipse for debug mode. Yes. Let's draw the follow, the target object. Add a draw event. Let's just add a draw ellipse. X minus 1, Y minus 1, Y X plus 1, Y plus 1, outline true. Let's have a look at this. So now we should be able to see our... Oh, we probably can't because of the depth sorting. And there's no depth on the objects anymore, is there? Depth equals 1. Can we do that still? Oops. Depth equals 1. I don't know if you can do this anymore in Game Maker 2. We'll soon find out. Oh, hang on a minute. There's a circle on the screen. I thought the camera... Oh, because I'm an idiot. I put it in camera target. Why would I do that? Cut event. Get rid of this. This should be the player target. Paste event. There we go. And let's also make that bigger. 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, and it was too small. There we go. Now we can see the target following the line. Alright, the reason I wanted to do that was because when we add our own path drawing function, we want it to we want to be able to see the path that we've drawn from our ship. And when we get to the end, we'll destroy the path. Or when we create a new path, we'll destroy that path as well. Guys, I'm going to be right back for just a moment while I grab a drink. I will leave you to enjoy this ship following this path. And let me just put something on my mouse to hold the button down. Okay, back in a moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to grab a drink. path drawer is gone. Where's the path? What the hell? What's the ship doing? That's weird. The path is up here. Why is the ship down there? The ship ended. What the hell? What's the ship doing? Alright, that's weird. And it's got some good sailing motions as well. It's doing its thing. Okay. Alright then, whatever. We will deal with that bug later. So we have a path created now. Excuse me. And we are following the path. We've rendered our path to the screen. Now it is time. It did, but it didn't end. Path action stop. That's weird. That should have stopped. That's okay. I think once we destroy the path anyway, it should deal with it should deal with that anyway. So we have path targeting. Let's create another variable called pathing. And in here we'll say my path equals path. What was that function called? Not create, it was path add. And then we will, so we've added a path. Then what we will do is we'll say when the ship is selected, we will create a timer. I can't send you the pic, only the code. I sent you in the Twitter. Okay, cool. I would say it's not worth the price, but it's definitely easy to use. So when the ship is selected, we need to create... We need to first of all check... No, hang on a minute. We need to... Yeah, let's check first of all. Path... exists. Okay, path exists. My path. So if the path exists... What am I doing? If path exists equals false, we're going to create a path. We'll say my path equals path underscore add. So we always have a path created when the left button is pressed. What the hell is wrong with that? Oh, God. Sometimes I code really stupidly. And what does this return? Path exists returns a boolean. Wonderful. The ability to publish a number of... Yeah, that is good. We'll see if there is a Game Maker 3 now that Playtech owns Yo-Yo Games. After Game Maker 2, they're probably going to kill it. That's just my guess. So, detect if a path exists. Otherwise, then create one. Okay, so if the path exists, and if the path doesn't exist, create a new one when the left button is pressed. Then, if the ship is selected, then what we'll do is we'll say alarm 0 equals 1. We'll add an alarm, and in this alarm, we will say if ship selected. If the ship is selected, we're going to add points to the path. And then at the end of that, we're going to say alarm 0 equals whatever, 15. So this happens 4 times a second as we drag. When that alarm fires, we will say path underscore add point. The index is going to be my path. And the point that we're going to add is going to be at mouse X, mouse Y, and speed of 1. It's going to be our points. So now in our draw event, we should see we should be able to say if path exists. If path exists, my path. Then we are going to draw that path on the screen. Draw path, my path. I'll be honest, I love JavaScript. That is my favorite language. It's so flexible. You can do anything you want with JavaScript. If the path exists, there's no limitations to the language. Like, if something's not working the way that you want it to work, it just continues to function. Right, there we go. So now we're adding path variables. Now the thing is, can we set the path programmatically to be path add? Where's that function? To be smooth. Make sure you use path delete when it's done. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Path add. Is there a path? Where's the path thing? Let's have a look. Try to find more of the functions for paths. Here we go. Path information. Path get closed. This will either set state to either true or false depending on if the path is closed or not. Do we have a path set function? Need the room back open again because I want that sidebar. So when the path is created, can we say path underscore set closed my path false? Always want it to be false. And that means that in here, when we create a path, we also want to set it to false. So the path is not closed. There we go. Now we can create an open-ended path. Choose others tab. Oh, I didn't see that, sorry. Let's have a look at the others. There is no others. There's only changing path. Oh, here we go. Changing paths. Path add point. This will add a point. Is there a way to make it smooth programmatically, though? Set precision. Here we go. Smooth path precision 4. So we need a path set kind. Here we go. Path set kind, and then the kind is going to be... so it's the path and then the precision. So 0 for straight, 1 for smooth. So let's go path set kind. Set kind, my path, and the kind is going to be 1 for smooth. Is there a variable for that? Path underscore kind. No, there isn't. Just set it to 1. Now, also in the create event, I don't want to add a path. I just want to set it to none. There we go. Do you mind if I copy your lerp angle script? You can copy that lerp angle script because it is certainly not mine. I googled it. There you go. Also, delete point after you pass it. Yes. Once the path is completed, we'll delete the path. Or when a new path is created, we'll delete the path. So it's always deleted before a new one is created. So let's have a look and see if this is smooth. There we go. So now we can create a smooth path. Now, it does happen at this odd interval, but that's fine because I don't think you'll see it. Unless I increased the frequency of this to, say, 2. But let's have a look what that looks like. Is that even possible? Can we do that? See, that just makes it more like your mouse, which is a bit silly. You don't download JavaScript. You just run it in your browser. Runs in Google Chrome. So you don't have to worry about that ever. That's all good. There you go. So that'll do for our path movement code. Right. Anyway, so we've got that set up. Let's set this back to 15 because I'm fine with 15. So now when the left button is selected, if the path exists, if the path doesn't exist, we create one. And then we set this alarm. And we say trigger path creation alarm. Well, actually, we don't need to determine if the path exists. Let's always create a path. Let's first of all say path underscore delete my path before we do anything. And that way, there's always a fresh path when we click on the ship. It won't work because it doesn't exist to begin with. So we do that if the path exists. If the path exists, my path, then we are going to delete the path to begin with. Right, and that way we destroy the protective path exists, then delete the path. Why not just pop off the last path point, then push it onto your new path every update? Pop off the last path point, then push onto your new path every update. Because then the ship would move forever. Is that not what we want? We don't want the ship to move. Put Patreon in description. I can't click on it. No worries, Hentami. It's just patreon.com/rm2kdev. I will put it in the chat and I'll put it in the description as well. There we go. I've added it to the description. Thank you for that. So if the path exists, then we delete the path because we don't want to use a new one. Then we add a new path. Then we add a new path, then we set the type of path, and then we trigger the alarm, path creation alarm. Then we create a new path, because the path is always going to be deleted. C-R-E. In your timer, instead of just adding a new point every time, pop the last point and push on the new point. So it shows the path from the last point to your cursor, not the path of your cursor. But I want it to go from the path of your cursor, though. That's what I mean. Like, if you want the ship to go like this, you can just draw that shape, and the ship will follow the shape. And then when we create a new path, it will... Every time we create one, it will reset itself. That way, when the ship is moving, we're over here and we create a new path, you know, we can just do that, and the ship will follow the new path instead. You'll see in a moment. We can change it after if it's no good, but trust me, I think this will work. The dog's barking, yeah. So we add a path point. Then we draw the path. That's all good. Then what we need to do is say that the target object, when the ship is selected, follows this. So we have a path targeting object. Now in this alarm, we are going to put this, and then we're going to follow that path. Yeah, no, I was gonna make it drag because I have a feeling that this will be playable like on iPad, for instance. My path not set before reading it. Why did that? Oh, because this is not my path. This is other.mypath because it's in this object. Okay, that's kind of weird. Why is it moving so slowly? Now I see there is a problem with this. This needs to change so that this happens when the path is created. Guys, can you give me a moment? I just want to make sure someone's not breaking into the house. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, sorry about that. House is fighting. No, dogs aren't fighting. They're just barking at something outside. Add points to the start. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So the target is going to be set at the beginning. No, that doesn't work either. Hang on, let me go through chat quickly. I think it's because you need to tell the ship to refollow the new path when you update the path. No, it's not that. It's because I'm telling it to start every time. So, let me try something quickly. Path set. There's no speed, or the speed variable is this. Because we'll get done for copyright again. And then let's take this with my target thing, put this back in the alarm, and let's try this. It might also be because it's absolute positioning and not relative. Right, so that's all okay. Oh, we can get some crazy jumping happening there. The path start position also needs to have a point. All right, so first thing I'm noticing, there's a couple of issues, but that's okay. The first thing is when we create a path, the first point needs to be at its current position, always. So we need to add a point at the player's current position, which is just going to be X and Y with a speed of 1. That's fine. That means that we always have the ship following itself first, if that makes sense. Now I want to get rid of that jerky motion, but that's okay. Alright, so that's fine. So now the first point is set. The speed variable, path add point 25. Then we need to tell it to follow. I wonder if we can tell it to follow the path after we've added a point, but then have the timer add a point like almost straight away and then still have it work, if that makes sense. No, we can't. You may need to stop the last path, then add a point. The game be a survival. Probably not a well, I guess a survival. More like an action. You may need to stop the path and then add another point. Well, what if I increased the frequency of this? I know this is dodge, but let's just see if this does anything different. Like for instance, yeah, see, as you're changing the path. Sorry, it's because of this. Absolute, false. It's not absolute. It's from its current position. There we go. That solves the problem. That's what the problem was. Because the path was absolute, we're telling it... No. Because it was absolute, we're telling it, like, you need to be following this path that I'm telling you to follow right now. And because it's absolute, it's saying from the starting position of that path. So this is how I was thinking you'd play. You'd be moving your camera around. Okay, there's some enemies up there. Instead, we're going to go this way. You know, and then you drag around like that. Actually, no, we're going to go that way. Now, this ship is too slow. So let's just speed this up to like 80. So we can do some testing. So, you know, you would do that. You'd move over here. The ship is following the path. You'd be like, okay, we're going to go that way. Okay, oh no, there's too many enemies down here, so we're going to go this way. Okay, this is still too slow to demonstrate this. Let's just set it to 200. Right, so you'd be doing this, basically. Now see, because the pathing is not absolute, it can overshoot and undershoot. But it doesn't matter because the paths will be turned off. So you won't actually really see, I mean, you might see them, but... Yes, it'll be shooting other ships, that's right. Now, here's the other thing, is we can slow this down now to, say, 15 where it was. Excuse me. Just trying to see. You know, it probably is better to have that faster anyway. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just testing something here. Right. Cool. That's working. Put a sound effects. Yeah, like. I think that's okay now. You can go on islands. This is, yeah, it becomes an airship when it goes over the islands. Exactly. So I think the island check is then quite simple, because all we need to do is make sure that the mouse is not over the layer of the island. It's that easy. That makes collision detection like really freaking easy. All we have to do is, actually we can delete this path now as well. Delete this layer and delete that path, because we're not using predefined paths yet. I think that makes it really easy then, because all we need to do is detect the ground layer, this layer, and make sure that the mouse position is not above that layer. We do a collision check with it. So there's some tile functions in here. Tile get. How do we do this? Tile get empty. Can we use to check whether a given tile, a given set of tile data is empty or not, which can be retrieved using the tile map get function. So here we go. We tile map get tile map element ID layer get. Here we go. Layer tile map. So we get the tile map from the layer. Is that right? I'll post the game online or on the website. It'll probably end up as source code on my Patreon feed at some point. So after we finish making it, or if it even is fun to play once it's done, I don't know. There are some functions. Anyway, hey, let me keep looking at this tile. I'm pretty sure we can just use this. Let's copy this out of the manual here, and let's take it into our game. And let's put it under here, because we need to get the tile. So we need to go layer get ID. So we'll say layer ID is going to be equal to rename this, just copy paste. So if we get the layer first, then we get the map out of the layer. And we're not going to do this in the alarm. We'll do this in the create event. Then we're going to get the data from the tile map of the map. So here we go. So this is going to be our create event now. It's going to have a path targeting. So this is going to be for collision detection. We're going to say this is the tile ground layer. And this is going to be the tile ground layer tiles. We're going to use that to get the tiles out of here, and then in the alarm we're going to say, using this, this should be tile map underscore get. Now what does that function return? Tile map get. Use this function to retrieve tile data from a cell. You give the tile map element ID, tile map layer create, tile map get ID. See, tile map set masks. Any mask data that's been applied. So we can apply, we don't need to worry about the masks. Alright, so let's do this. Sorry guys, let me read the chat. Ghost Ship is a free. No, it's not. Patreon is $1 minimum. That's all. Yeah, cool. Tile map get tile ground layer. Right. So let's have a look at what this data is. Show debug message, and let's say string data. Let's just have a look at what that is first. Now that we have access to it. So I think it should be nothing, 22, and then as we go over the grass, it's 22 again. Yeah, so that doesn't work. Maybe that was the wrong idea. Maybe we need to use the debugger to find out what this really is, because we can't string it. Allow access. What is data? Data is 22. Where is my tile map get? Ah, I see what I've done wrong. Stop. Okay, we can close the debugger now because I realize I've done something stupid. This needs to be mouse X and mouse Y. Mouse Y. Yeah. Sorry, Andrew. Only in the rendered version. Now, what the hell was happening then? Now it's not working. I hate this shit. So it's -1s always. Oh, tile maps, tile maps. How do you get the damn tile? Get tile data at pixel. Excuse me. Tile map layer functions. Tile map get at pixel. Maybe that's the function we need. What does this return? Real. -1 if there's an error. Cell X is 0 to room size. So this needs to be tile map get at pixel. I think. Mouse X is 0 to screen size. You sure? I thought mouse X... No, mouse X and Y are room size. I'm certain of that. Now you have me questioning if that is true. Let's use this tile map get at pixel function. I'm like 99% sure it doesn't. There we go. Problem solved. Okay. But now, for some reason, because this is moving way too fast. Let's set that back to 20. Right, see, now we can determine what it is. Right, so what we do here is we say if data equals -1, then we add the points. Now we can't swim onto land. Tiles are split into chunks. Yes. So we can't create these points on land. Now we can't create points anywhere. If tile data not equals... Hang on a minute. What was the message? I forgot what it was. It's 0. It's 0, isn't it? 0. Okay, so if data equals 0, then we can add a point and re-trigger the alarm. Actually, no, then we add a point, but we always re-trigger the alarm. And then we tell it to start along that path. Okay, this is tile data. Not just any data, specifically tile data. So if tile data is 0, then we can create path, otherwise we cannot. Now we have the ability to create paths anywhere. And a minor issue, but can we... shit, actually, you know what? Can we trick this by doing that? Damn it! Bug. I think you can edit the path speed if you store the path start object. You can change the speed. To be honest, I think this is okay. We can come back and sort that issue out later. But for now, I think that's fine. Let's get started on adding some actual gameplay. Now that we have a player and an enemy. and then an enemy. This path target, we don't actually need to call this player. Let's take this out of here and let's put this in a global container called system. And we'll put the path targets in there and we're going to rename that to path target. OBJ path target. We're going to have to go through and adjust our player who is referencing that directly, because we'll use the same path target for the enemies as well. Yeah, if ship hits land, health minus equals 10,000, exactly. Could do if the value of path X and Y is not 0. Path target XY is not 0, then stop. Yes, can do that as well. To detect collisions as well. For the enemy ships, we're not going to get too fancy with those. I'm just going to use predefined paths. Just to make it a bit easier on ourselves. We'll just create a path and call this like path enemy 1. Excuse me. And then in our room, we will create a path layer. The very top of the map called... Well, actually, we're not even going to use it. We're just going to use this to define enemy paths, which will be something like undo. Should be something undo. Undo. Oh, shit. We need to create a path layer. That's a tile layer. Give it the right path, and then we can create these points like this. And we will do that, and we'll close the path. So then we'll have like a ship that sort of orbits this. Like that. That'll do. Okay, and then let's go and create an enemy. So this is a player object. They're from Kenny. Yeah, the assets are from Kenny. So we'll create a group called enemy like this, and then we'll create an object, obj enemy base, starting off with bases, and then we'll create another object called obj underscore enemy 1. This time we will create a ship, a pirate ship. The grey one. Who will inherit from the parent of enemy base. There we go. Now, enemy base's job is going to be to create a target following object, just like our player has. So I'm going to go to player, and I'm going to say my target. I'm going to create that for path targeting. So let's just put that in here. Let's just say initiate enemy. We'll create our own target. So now it's got its own target. Then we need to give it a path and have it follow that path. So what we'll do then is we'll say we will say, where is my follow path script? It's in here. With the target, we'll have the target start following the path. So we'll paste that there. With my target, we will say, and it's not going to be other.path, it's going to be my path equals, what is this going to be? This is going to be path enemy, oh god, path enemy 1. There we go. Now this will path action continue. There we go. And it is absolute, this one. Now we need to do the same thing for our movement. I parented. I did. We have enemy base. I'm working on enemy base, not enemy. Now we need to have the player do this thing, follow my target and face my target. So the enemy base is going to have a step event whose job is to follow my target and rotate and then move towards my target. Wonderful. And now if we go to the world, And we go to our instances layer, and we go to our resources, and we drag an enemy onto the map, just like there. I think that's enough to get this running. Oh yeah, fantastic. Wonderful. Great job. It might be a little bit too fast. Remember descriptions. I know! I missed that. This stupid JS doc bullshit that they use now. Pain in the ass. Good times, right? Yeah. They changed, seriously, they changed too much. And they should have just added these features to Game Maker Studio 1 and left it like that. Now this guy is obviously moving along his path way too fast. Okay, now. There we go. Now he's a bit faster than we are. Probably, we're probably just too slow. What did I set ours to? I set ours to 20 because we're creating path at runtime. So ours really needs to be at about 50. The problem with that, though, is that we can be offset. But it's fine. Is obviously faster than us. I actually want to slow them down. I think they're a little too fast, actually. We set that to 0.5, make them half as fast. I'd like our player to be faster than them. Okay. Alright, sorry. Now can we catch up? Let's test this. We're probably even speed now. Your path target is following multiple paths. Remember to stop all paths before starting any new one. Yes, of course. Okay, so these guys, you know what? Let's make this a little easier for ourselves and move our player just over there. What is that object again? That's our camera target object. That's right. I just want to make sure that we can catch up to these guys. That's the most important thing. Even if it's slow, you know, that's where our gameplay will come from. But it looks like, with good cornering, we can definitely overtake them. And now we would be clicking on this guy to, like, launch. You know, we'd be shooting at them. Wonderful. Okay. If player in range, then pause path. Yes. Something like that. I mean, you're going to shoot them anyway, so no need to catch up with the enemy. Yeah, you need to get at least, you know, like, nearby them to shoot. There'll be a distance minimum. We're still listening to copyright-free music. Here we are. Cool. Just double checking. Okay, so now we've done that, we can. They're following their path just a little bit slower than us. Probably increase our speed from 50 to say 55 to make it a little bit more, just a little quicker. Let's go ahead and add some weapons. Weapon. Our default size. We got effects and ship parts. So we have cannonballs, pole, nest, wood. Alright, so we just need the cannonball actually. Let's just drag this cannonball into our game and call this SPR cannonball. Alright, so now we've got tiles, effects, and ships. We need to have another group called objects. Put our cannonball in there. Then we're going to need to put system at the top as well. Sorry, put these two underneath system. Let's create another group called weapons. Let's make sure we center this as well. Middle center. Let's create an object called obj cannonball. Give it the appropriate sprite. This is the object sprite cannonball. And this one, this one is going to have a range. And I think between its range, I'd like it to scale in size, so it gets a little bigger. And then when it collides with an enemy base object, it does something. All right, so let's get our player able to shoot first. So what I'll do is I will add a... Alright, here we go. So first of all, let's add one of these. When you click on an enemy... Actually, sorry. When you click on an enemy base... Right? So if you click on one of these guys... So, mouse... left down. First thing we need to do is go back to our player ship. What happens when we left press on the ship? We say ship selected. Now ship selected is what stops us from being able to do this. Now let's see if I don't know if we can do this, but let's say ship selection logic. Say ship selected equals false, and then when you left click on them, we're going to say ship selected equals true. But then back in our player object, we are not going to allow the camera movement function to occur if obj enemy base dot ship selected equals false. Something like that. I just want to make sure first of all that we can not drag the camera when we've selected an enemy, but it seems that we can. No, we can't. There we go. So I can drag the... Oh, shit. I need to do the mouse up as well. So whenever you mouse up, it doesn't matter where. This is a global thing. Global left release. We deselect our ship. And we're also going to deselect all enemy ships. Okay. So when we select an enemy ship, we can't drag the screen either because we want to use this for... We want to... welcome... hi, Killer Beast. We want to use this to make sure that we can't select, but it's not working, so it doesn't matter. Why did that work before and now it doesn't work? Object enemy base dot ship selected equals false, and then left pressed object enemy base dot, so we can only if ship selected equals false and all enemy base ships are not selected. Enemy base left down ship selected equals true. I thought that could have worked. Thank you, Killer Beast. Put a camera between you and the slip. Yes, we can do that as well. But I want it to... I just want to make sure that we can... See, it doesn't look like we can. That's okay. Because... Oh my god, my dogs are crazy. I think we can still do this, but what we'll have to do is we'll create something in our player ship called camera variables. Ship selected E is selected equals false, right? Because we only have one player, so that's fine. We'll change our code in here to say that this only works if your ship is not selected and the enemy selected is false. Then when we release the right button, we always set this to false. They're probably barking at neighbors or something. And then when you select an enemy base object, any of them, it goes and notifies our player object Player ship dot enemy selected equals true. Okay, let's see where I'm going with that. So that's not in our create event though, that's in our left down. So it notifies our player object that the selected enemy is... the enemy was selected. Now, we still can't click on it for some reason. Do I have a left down? No, that should be here. That's there. Object enemy selected equals true. That's weird. Let's have a look at this. The left button is pressed. If ship selected equals false and enemy selected equals false, and then when we release the left button, enemy selected equals false. Yeah, that's normal, and it's false by default. And then when we touch an enemy, object player ship dot enemy selected equals true. That should stop us from doing this. Let's put a debug message in here as well. Let's just say global left, not left. Ah, no, this is left, not global left, because this is supposed to be when the enemy base ship is clicked on, not when the mouse is just pressed down anywhere. Show debug message to make sure that event is firing. Hi. Alright, so I'm clicking, nothing happens. I click on the ship, it says hi. So it is definitely doing that. Ah, hang on a minute. Global left pressed, yeah, that's right. Global left released. Those are correct. This code is definitely firing. Object enemy ship dot selected equals true. That definitely fires. I wonder if this is the order of selection, and I wonder also if this is when the global left mouse button is pressed and enemy selected equals false. The create event enemy selected is false. That's weird. I think this might be an order of processing kind of issue. I wonder if there is a way that you can adjust these. Let's just move that above the player ship. There we go. I wonder if, I think the order in which these... No, see, that didn't do anything at all. It's definitely not that. Guys, I'm going to be right back for 2 seconds. I just got to check on something, okay? I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Yes, that's exactly what's happening, Andrew. I'm being trolled by the code. It wouldn't be the first time. Alright, no, I think this is an order of executions thing. I think what's happening is this fires after the left down event in the player's ship. Therefore, when this fires, these are both false. Global left pressed. And that is the cause of the issue. Delete system 32. I think we can determine that as well if we put a show debug message. And let's just put like ABC. If we run this, we should see ABC first. Yeah, so that's what's happening. ABC fires first. At that point in time, it is false. But what if we changed the code slightly so that this wasn't the trigger? This was just to define whether or not we're moving the camera. But we only move the camera if... Yes, let's do that. That's better. In our step event, if we're moving the camera and ship selected is false and enemy selected is false, then we move the camera. That way, excuse me, that way it should solve the problem. Now we can chase the ship and we can't drag when we're selecting that guy, but we can click on that one and fire the event. So now that's sorted, we can go back to our left press, get rid of our messages. Change mouse down to pressed. Did I have that on mouse down? Oh, you're right, I did. Or that. Yeah. I will change the event to mouse pressed, though, because that's what I was actually looking for. Thank you for noticing that. I didn't notice that. We can get rid of this. Well, anyway, we can tell the player now that we have selected an enemy ship. And what we're also going to do is tell the player that our OBJ player ship dot enemy selected target X equals mouse X. Well, these are the destinations for our cannon firing. These two variables need to exist in our player because these are our targets. So in our create event, we're going to have our camera variables, our movement variables, our stats. We're also going to need our weapon variables. These are going to be our enemy selected target X and Y are just going to be 0 and 0 for now. And our enemy selected variable can come under here for our enemy variables. Wonderful. All right, now if our enemy is selected, we're going to trigger an alarm. So we can't do that in a step event, obviously. But what we can do when we select the enemy is we can say obj. Why can't I type in here? Oh, because this is in the base. We can say obj underscore player underscore ship dot alarm 1 equals 1. We're going to turn on that alarm, and then in our player's ship we are going to process that alarm by firing a cannonball. Fire cannon balls, right? In here we're going to say if enemy selected equals, actually, I'm going to do that. No, we will equals true. I.e., if they're still selected, we will refire the cannonballs. Alarm 1 equals 15 for now. Then what we need to do is we need to calculate the direction to the enemy selected points. So we need to say enemy direction. Actually, you say attack point direction equals point direction, the function point direction from our current X and Y to the enemy selected target X, enemy selected target Y. That's our direction. Then we need to create a cannonball. So we're going to say with instance create at depth, which is going to be at position X and Y, depth of -1 to be above the ships, obj underscore cannonball. So with this object, we are going to tell it, what have I messed up here? Nothing's messed up there. We're going to tell it that your target direction is going to be equal to other.attack point direction. Okay, now in our cannonball, we're going to create a target, I call it target direction. Target direction, we're going to say init cannonball. Target direction is going to be equal to 0 because create will happen first. Then what we need to do is add a step event. We need to say fire cannon. Say move towards target. So then we say x dir equals length dir x. Length is going to be 1. Direction is going to be target dir. You do the same thing for y. And then we say length dir y. So that's our direction. Then we just say x plus equals x dir. Y plus equals y dir. Right, so now that should move multiplied by speed. We'll just say ball speed. Right, so we multiply the x direction by the ball speed. Then we need to put the ball speed in the create event. Ball speed equals, let's just set it to 2 for now. Okay, in theory, if all of that was correct, we should now be able to fire cannonballs at the enemy ship. Obviously too fast, but the effect is somewhat. It fires at the point that was selected, so it will always... Why is it turning around? That's weird. Okay, no, that's okay. It fires at that point selected. It just looks like it's curving, it's just not. Yeah, it fires... Yeah, okay, that's cool. Right, so now we have it firing cannonballs at the enemy ship. I think I want to do... I don't There we go. That's kind of cool. Pretty fun. Anyway, let's adjust the frequency of that now, because that's good. Also, the balls, I think, are a little bit too fast. Let's set these to 1.25. That way, it's a little harder to hit your enemy. Now, in our player ship, the frequency is too fast, so we'll set that to 50. Down. You need it to be left down, not left pressed for the cannonball. Huh? It's alarm. Left pressed. No, left pressed is fine. I want it to repeat. Okay, anyway, so now what should happen is we should have a reasonable speed of firing. That's better. Now let's give these things some trails, because I think in the screenshot they had trails, didn't they? No, but I want it to repeat fire when you hold the mouse down. I don't want a single fire. Like, you don't have to keep tapping on it. You just hold down on it. Enemy selected. Target is that. Then when you let go, the enemy selected variable is unselected. No, pressed fires multiple times. So effects. We have some fire and some explosions here. Now let's add a collision event with the enemy base and a cannonball. Add event collision with the cannonball. We are going to destroy other. So here we go. Process damage. Process damage. We are going to, first of all, take damage. So we'll just say, I don't know, health. Oh, okay, my health minus equals 1. We're not actually going to process that yet. We're just going to have that there. Then we'll say with, actually we'll say instance destroy other. We'll get rid of the cannonball because we don't need it anymore on the screen. Then we want to say, should be fine. Let's add a my health variable first. So in the create event, let's have a health. Oh, let's just call this enemy stats. Stats. My health equals, let's just set it to 10 for now. Now we have 4 frames of animation where each frame, where are my ships? Each frame progressively gets worse. So we could have this, what is this, 10 divided by 4? That probably wouldn't work. Just trying to think how we could do this. We could say 10 divided by 4 mod health damage. So we could say, trying to think how to do this programmatically. Screw it. It doesn't matter for now anyway. We'll take damage and we'll destroy the cannonballs. So the cannonball should be able to collide with the ship now at least. Let's make sure that's working. They should collide. Yeah, they do. Cool. Now the masking needs to be a little better. The collision masks at least. Not rectangular. We want it to be diamond. Actually, a diamond probably works pretty well. Make health multiples of 4 for simple code. Yeah, that's right. So let's give these guys all the diamond-shaped collision mask. Diamond. There we go. And this one is going to be a diamond as well. That way the collisions... Diamond. Collision mask on this one is also a diamond. And then this one here is also a diamond. Okay. Collision mask, diamond. There we go. Now, back in our room... just want to move that to there. Alright, let's just make sure that's working now. Yep, okay, cool. That's working now. Controls are a little bit hard. We might have to rearrange some of those buttons so that we're not using... Alright, cool. That's taking damage now. Cool. You put your collision mask precise for yellow. Did I? Let's have a look. Yeah, I did. You're right. Diamond. Thank you for that. So the collision now hits the enemy ship with the enemy base. It should spawn an effect. The effect is going to be... an explosion. So let's create an group called effects. Let's create an object called objfx underscore explosion. I spelled that wrong. explosion explosion. There we go. We'll give that the effect of the exploding sprite, and we'll add an other animation end event which simply destroys itself. There we go. So we can spawn that into the world where the collision occurs on the enemy base. So before we destroy other, we'll say instance create at depth. This is going to be other.x, other.y, and the depth is going to be -1, and the object is going to be objfx explosion. That should deal with our simple animations of explosions. Okay, now we can go ahead and shoot at the player, sorry, at the enemy. When they collide, if they collide, because it is kind of hard to hit him now, they should get a little explosion now. Wonderful. Alright, cool. That's attacking now. Now, I think what will happen is when they start to attack each other, we'll do something with the paths where they slow down. So now that is attacking. It is not taking health, but you're right. It should be a multiple of 4. So we could just simply say 8 for now. And that way image angle is just simply calculator. It's 8 divided by 4. So it's every 2. So we could say 7 divided by 4. Sorry, 7. Oh god, 7 divided by 4. 1.75. Okay, cool. So in the step event, then we can actually, sorry, in here we can subtract from my health, and then we can just say that the image index equals my health, my underscore health divided by 4, which will give us our 4 frames I'll tell you what, let's just do this in step event so we can see it occurring immediately. And I think we need to invert it as well because it's the wrong way around. Yeah, so he's completely destroyed right now. So that needs to be 4 minus that result. So it starts off at 0. Is that right? Did I get that right? Great. It should be 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's 3, sorry. Enemy base should be 369, so it should be 369, 12. 12 health should be divided by 3. 3 divided by my health divided by 3. So when it's completely full, it should be 0. Did I get that the wrong way around? Do we need to offset it at all? Sorry guys, I'm getting code tired now. There we go. So now, if we hit it, it just dies. That's not right. Oh god, I don't know what this is. What am I doing? Show debug message image index. What are you, image index? You are 4 right now, which loops around. That makes it, yeah. So it shouldn't be 4. It should be 3, 6, 9. It should be 9. Let's have a look at this. So that way it's already 3. 3 being what it was. Now back to here. It should be 3 minus that. So that way it should be 0. And then when it gets hit, it goes up as it starts to take damage. None of those are going to hit, are they? Ah, come on, hit. One. There we go. Now it's counting up. Okay, cool. It's getting more and more damaged. Wonderful. That's working fine. Get rid of that now. Now they will start to take damage. Oh, okay. Display the right frame. Save that. Okay, so left press. So now we've got the cannonballs shooting. Effects working. What do we do next? Cannonballs are working. Our effect is working. Our enemy is sailing correctly. Ah, excuse me. Okay, so what am I doing? The path for the enemy is working. Enemy is working. The enemy base is working. Right. The other thing I want to change, which feels a little bad, is this player ship object. The movement command. Right currently jumps to the player if you press right. But what if you press right and instead of doing it with the left, what if we did this with the right button? Let's get rid of this for now. Let's put that in here. And then what we'll do is we'll say when the right button is released, the global right mouse button released. Then what we'll do is we'll say, we won't do this yet, we'll calculate that delta first. Right, so we'll do that. Then in the left released, we need to say turn off camera movement. So that's the first thing that happens, is we turn off the camera movement. But we need to check the delta between where the mouse currently is and the target positions. Because if it is greater than a certain threshold, we are not going to jump to the ship. But if it's in the same place, we will jump to the ship. So if the target X how will we do this? If the target X... hang on a minute. I'm messing up here. Global write down, selection X. That's what we want. We want selection X. So if selection... I need to do the calculation. Shit. It's going to be difference. That's it there. So when the when the right mouse button is released, we need to calculate the difference. And then we say if ABS diff X is greater than 5 and ABS or ABS diff Y is greater than 5. So if we've actually moved the mouse at some point, then we are going to move... We're going to set the target. Otherwise, we're not even going to bother with that. Now, this diff X stuff is happening... Where is this happening? That's happening in step. We need to call it something else, though. We need to call this... I'll tell you what, actually, we don't need to do anything. We'll just put that in place here. So it's in place in code. So if we have moved enough... if it's less than 5... Right? If it's less than 5, as in we haven't moved much... If we have not moved much, then snap to player. Otherwise, it would literally just be for moving with the right mouse button. So now we can't move at all. Oh, I fucked it up. The global rice. Oh god, my English. Global right pressed. Change event. Global mouse right pressed. There we go. We set that. Now let's see if that works. Right, now I can drag around with the right mouse button. If I let go, it shouldn't. No, it does. It's because my offsets are too great. This song is by JJD. It's called Future by NCS. Right, so my calculations over here are wrong. So let's go back in here. So this is coming along. So when we release the right... I can't say right. When we release the right mouse button, we need to check that the... This needs to be AND. If the mouse has moved greater than 5 pixels from its selection beginning, then we allow the camera target to be snapped. So if I just right click, so if I'm over here, hang on. Now if I move this over here, see, that's not working now. It always snaps back. Okay. Okay, this is not working. Let's just deal with this on just the x-axis, and we'll add in the y-axis after to get this to work. Basically, what I want is to be able to drag around with the right mouse button, and then if you right-click, it will just snap you back to the player. So if ABS, which means it's always positive, selection X minus mouse X is greater than 5, T, then show debug message GT5. Else, show, what do these values look like? Show debug message LT5. Right. LT5. So now we should be able to see, based on the X mouse position with the right mouse button, when we let go, that is less than 5, less than 5, less than 5, less than 5. It's never GT5. GT is always right. Now it's always GT5. What the fuck? Selection X. Maybe if we get rid of this. The ABS function should be needed. Always. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. because we're LT5, GT5, LT5, GT5, LT5, GT5. Yes, that's right. So we do need the ABS function. Okay, so if I do that, it's less than 5. If I do that, it's less than 5. If I do... because I'm calculating the position of the mouse. Now, the mouse stays where it was. It can't be the mouse. It needs to be the obj camera target dot x. If that is greater than 5... No, that's not it either. What are these values? Let's have a look at what this is actually returning. Show debug message. The ABS value of that function. So that will tell us exactly what the numbers are. It's 1. It's 15. It's 18. 7. 0. Now it works fine. So any movement on the x-axis that is less than 5 I see the problem. Yeah, it is that because that's our selection x minus the mouse x, because the mouse x position moves. We need to calculate how far we've actually moved. That's the problem. How the hell would you do that, though? Selection X is where you started the movement, and the mouse's X is where the current movement is. So we really need to capture the current position of the camera. We need to carry the current position of the camera. Current cam X equals obj. We need to calculate the difference between the camera. Obj camera target dot x. Current camera dot y is the target dot y. Calculate the target x and y from the current camera position, and then we calculate that at the end. These are our camera variables, so we need this equals 0 to begin with. And then when we release the right mouse button, we need to take the current camera X minus the actual camera X, obj underscore camera target dot X. Let's find out what the ABS value of that is. That will tell us how far we've moved regardless of mouse position, I think. So regardless of mouse position, that's telling me how far we've moved. Wonderful. All right, so that's doing it for X. Then we also need to say if it... All right, so now we can go ahead and write this code again, except this time we use the ABS values of the X position being less than 5 and the Y position being less than 5 as well. Y less than 5. If that is the case, then we'll go ahead and allow the camera to be snapped to the player because we haven't moved the camera enough. So for instance, if I do this, I can now move around the map, but if I just right click, it takes me back to my player. Right, so now I can use the left mouse button entirely to draw and fire. Then I can go and look around the map. Okay, I go back to my player. Okay, wonderful. All right, so that's done. The movement controls feel a little bit better now for the right click. Only problem with the right click is it makes it harder to do on tablets. Anyway, guys, I think that is all I can do for today. My brain is literally turning off at this point. It's been about 4 hours, I think, we've been streaming. So I'm going to have to get up now and go to the shop and get some food and do some stuff around the house before the day is over. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. The files and a link to watch this, well, depending on copyright, because, you know, YouTube, as it is, I'll upload the video to YouTube if it lets me. If it doesn't let me, I will save the file to my hard drive, compress it, stick it in a zip file, and upload it to Patreon. These as a public post for everyone, by the way, the actual game files will be available in a Patreon post, and if we are streaming tomorrow, we'll continue on with the game, and I'll continue to update the files as we go along. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time, probably tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.